Lenoir and Coweta or Carroll counties where trees were reported on homes during Monday's storms there as well. As for today, it is currently 50 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says look for mostly sunny skies, high in the upper 70s. When we dry out from Monday's storms, we'll creep closer to 90 degrees as we head through the work week. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Workers with the Atlanta-based CDC, likely among the up to 10,000 workers with Health and Human Services Department, starting to get notices today. It's part of the overhaul expected from HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Those cuts expected to include almost 2,500 spots at the CDC. Notices also come just after President Trump moved to strip the workers of their collective bargaining rights. Positions that would be cut include those tracking health trends, disease outbreaks, and other medical research. Georgia Tech sets a new record for student applications.
Georgia Tech received almost 67,000 applications for fall enrollment and has accepted 8,500 new students. UGA in Athens announced a record application total last month, topping 48,000 with nearly 16,000 acceptances. Tech received applications from all 50 states and over 100 countries, with 44% of them listing engineering as their intended field of study. Many of those accepted will not enroll at Tech. The school has a stated goal of 4,000 students for the incoming freshman class. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Georgia could be getting some competition as Hollywood of the South, some A-listers, take a trip to the Texas state capitol to plead their case.
Texans Harrelson and McConaughey are promoting Senate Bill 22, providing millions to movie and TV producers who come to Texas. Matthew McConaughey says,
"We have infrastructure. We have wood screws, not Velcro."
But there may be a morality clause attached.
Yeah, those being Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey. Now, Jim Ryan reports some Texas lawmakers propose withheld incentives for products with adult themes and language. TV and film industry, of course, has become a massive payday for Georgia. Bad financial news for another local chain, though. Hooters files for bankruptcy.
The Atlanta-based company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in Texas, listing assets worth from $50 million to $100 million and liabilities in the same range. The casual dining brand, known for its chicken wings and skimpy server uniforms, has struggled to lure customers. Hooters founders plan to make the chain more family-friendly as a way to turn things around. I'm Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti for 95.5 WSB.
Well, the actual event is not for another 3 months and 3 days, but it is a big day today for runners all around Atlanta.
No joke. The registration for the 2025, the 56th running of the AJC Peachtree Road Race open.
Atlanta Track Club CEO and race director Rich Kana says they're returning to a lottery system this year to select the 55,000 people who will get into the race on the 4th of July. But Track Club members do get a guaranteed entry. Peachtree remains the world's largest 10K. It is 9:03. Mark Aram Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather. Start with the roads. Triple team traffic at Smile and Mark McKay.
Got the delays trying to get into downtown. Judd, 75-85 northbound, still struggling from 166 Langford Parkway up to Midtown. 75-85 slowing into 17th Street. Even slow out of Buckhead on 400. We've yet to lose the jam between Duluth and Norcross. 85 is still running 25 minutes as you leave 316 to I-285. Where the delays left over on 400, Ashley Frasca.
Rolling out of Alpharetta down from Haynesbridge, still about 30 minutes on 400 South between Old Milton Parkway and 285 in Sandy Springs. A little crowded in both directions through Buckhead around Sidney Marcus. 575 South moving much better out of Cherokee County, and now waves of volume down from the North Loop out of Marietta along 75 South. Triple team traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, high 76, lows tonight in the upper 50s to low 60s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, an isolated rain shower, high 83. Thursday, mostly cloudy, very warm, high 88. That's turning about 20 degrees above average.
It is currently 46 degrees in Douglasville, 50 in Conyers, 50 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Good morning, friends. A refreshingly crisp Tuesday morning here in Atlanta. Although, if I heard Christina Edwards correctly, we're going to hit some record highs later in the week. Yikes, too early for summer. Got a massive show for you today. For the next 3 hours, we're going to be monitoring the special elections going down in Florida to fill the vacated seats of former Congressman Gates and the new head of security for the Trump administration, Waltz. So we're going to monitor that. Obviously, big special elections. We don't expect any major surprises, but the poll numbers, the final voting numbers, could tell us a lot as we head toward the midterms coming up in just a couple of years. So we're going to be all over that story. Main Street and Wall Street not very happy with the current economy. We're going to check the latest poll numbers with Stephen Portnoy in just a minute. I want to start with, first off, as a fellow Braves fan, man, this is a rough start to the season. They lost again yesterday, but that wasn't the headline. The Braves' biggest free agent acquisition of the postseason, star outfielder Jurickson Profar, has been suspended for a large chunk of the season. Bill Caiaccio has the story.
Left fielder Jurickson Profar is suspended 80 games by Major League Baseball for using performance-enhancing drugs. He will be able to return for the regular season but will not be eligible for the playoffs. The Braves say they are surprised and extremely disappointed. Profar, who signed a 3-year, $42 million contract with the Braves this offseason, says this is the most difficult day of his baseball career and says he's devastated. He apologizes to the Braves organization, teammates, and fans. Profar will not be paid during his suspension. Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Yeah, tough break this early in the season. The Braves, really, that was their only big signing in the offseason. He had a great year last year. He's from Curacao, which continues a long string of Curaçaoian players with the Atlanta Braves organization, and he was catching a lot of heck on social media yesterday. He apologized. He feels bad. I know he feels bad. He lets his teammates down. A lot of judgy folks on social media saying, how could he do this? Full disclosure, I can't cast the stone in my glass house. If I thought steroids, or we don't even know what he took, right? That wasn't released. Steroids, some sort of performance-enhancing drugs. If you went to me in 1991 as a scrawny freshman pitcher on the Mayor's College baseball team and said, hey, if you take steroids, you're going to make the major leagues, I would have stripped down right there and showed you all my veins and said, inject me, inject me, inject me. So I can't judge what Jurickson Profar did because I would have been the first but it was, I mean, steroids were pretty rampant in the early 90s in college. One of my good friends, he went to another small Northeastern college playing baseball, and he took them. And he actually got drafted by the San Diego Padres, and he didn't make the major leagues, but that was his dream. That was my dream. I knew that steroids weren't going to add 15 miles an hour to my fastball. It was mostly a hitter's drug. So while it stinks, it's horrible. I know he feels bad. He let his teammates down. He let the city down. I'm not judging. What did he sign, Judd? A $42 million deal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Think about your job. Whatever you do right now, and let's say you're making $50,000 a year, and you could take steroids or HGH or whatever the heck they've concocted now, and you sign a 3-year, $42 million deal. You're going to take whatever.
Maybe I'm naive with this, but part of his thing, what he said, he said he got tested like 8 times last season. So you're getting tested a ton.
Sure.
So if you get tested so much, then why would you do that if you're just going to get busted? I guess there's ways to kind of hide it.
Yeah. Longoria will tell you. Well, Longoria will teach you how to mask the. But I'm not judging him. I would have done the very same thing. And you might be on the moral high ground looking down at me going, how could you air him? How could I? If steroids or HGH, whatever, improved my performance here, sign me up.
And you're competing against other guys who might be doing the same thing.
Yeah,
right?
Sign me up. 3 years, $42 million, whatever. So I'm not judging his action because I would have done I want to say no, I would never. No, especially if it's your dream. I guarantee if someone came up to me in a dark alley in Poughkeepsie, New York in 1991 and said, hey, take this pill, take this shot, you will make the major leagues, I would say, okay. Yeah. And even if the downside is like, listen, you're going to die 10 years younger than you normally would. I don't care. Smack my vein right here. Do it.
It would be tempting for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I just can't. I'm not judging. It stinks as a Braves fan. It's horrible. Postseason might be a far-fetched thing. I know we're only 5 games in, but not eligible for the postseason. I guess the good news for the Braves is they don't have to pay him for these 80 days.
They're going to save like $7 million. I think.
But the crazy thing is the 2 weeks that he's been getting paid is more than all of us make. So it's still. So I understand, and judge me if you want for not judging him, but I can't in all honesty say I wouldn't have done the exact same thing. If there was something available in 1991 that would have added 10 miles an hour to my fastball, I would have done it. Happily, gladly. I would have been the first in line to do it. It stinks as a Braves fan, though. We're going to miss him. But hopefully Spencer Strider comes back in a couple weeks. Ronald Acuna Jr. comes back in May, and things will be going. But I just wanted to get that off the table. I feel bad for him. I feel bad for his Braves teammates, the managers, the organization, Braves fans. Maybe this will bring the team together. We'll see other people step up. Jared Kelenic, De La Cruz. I mean, who knows? But I'm not going to judge the dude. I'm not going to judge him. I would have done the exact same thing. There, but the grace of God, go I, go me, go they, go thy. Anyway, I just wanted to get that off the table. Stinks, but I'm not throwing stones in my glass house. All right, the economy is not in great shape. Joining us from ABC News, it's Stephen Portnoy. Stephen, good morning, my friend. Just closed out the first quarter of the year, and really, really rough numbers when it comes to Wall Street. But apparently not just Wall Street unhappy with the current state of economy, but Main Street is as well. You got some new polling data. What can you share with us this Tuesday morning?
Well, it's not a great picture for the president. This is an Associated Press poll out yesterday morning that shows that nearly 6 in 10 Americans disapprove of how the president's handling the economy. And specifically when it comes to how he's handling trade negotiations, 60% disapprove, 38% approve. Now, you could say that sometimes, polls go one way or another for a particular president, but Donald Trump has historically always had the public's favor when it comes to his handling of the economy. That's changed. And why? Well, you could look at the stock market as one measurement of sentiment, and certainly what's affecting sentiment. I mean, you look at the headlines in the newspaper today. The first quarter of this year closed out yesterday, and it led to the worst performance in the stock market since late 2022, when Donald Trump argued that the economy was being run off the rails by Joe Biden. And why is it happening? Well, you can't point to some sort of global trend here, because overseas stocks are performing better than stocks here in the United States. Why? Well, one likely reason, if you talk to investors and analysts, is the uncertainty in the markets over these tariffs that the president has been talking about for months and is set to finally put in place later this week, barring some other late development. And, the president has said that there would be some disruption. He's indicated there'll be some pain. Investors certainly feel it. Americans who look at their 401ks certainly see it. And to what end? The president has talked about tariffs for a number of different reasons. He likes the idea of using them to try to put pressure on other countries. He likes the idea of using them to promote domestic manufacturing. And you've heard him talk about that in recent days about American car makers. But then there's the idea of external revenue, the idea that he has to come up with ways to offset the cost of some of his campaign promises. He's promised no taxes on tips and overtime or Social Security benefits. Well, where's he going to come up with the money to offset that? Well, how about tariffs? Well, who pays the tariffs? Americans who buy imported goods. And when it comes to cars, you could think of GM, Ford, and Chrysler as the American automakers. So you want to support Detroit. You might eschew your Toyota or your Honda and switch back to American car makers. Well, you might find that some of those American cars that you expected were made in Detroit are actually being made now in Canada and Mexico, because when those automakers established those plants, those countries were free trade zones. So how much of those American cars are actually made in the United States? What percentage? It's not clear. And what will the impact be? The president's talked about 25%. So if you have a car that's $50,000, well, let's just say you were hoping to buy a car for $50,000. All of a sudden it cost you $57,000 or $58,000. You might not have had that in mind.
Stephen Portnoy from ABC joining us on the Mark Arum Show. And this polling numbers came out before tomorrow's Liberation Day, where we're going to get more numbers on the tariffs. Overall, though, does this poll talk about President Trump's overall approval rating, not just how he's handling the economy?
Well, views of the economy are driving the president's overall job performance rating down. So right now, 42% of Americans in this poll support the president's job performance and say he's doing a fine job, but 56% disapprove. He's underwater by 14 points.
And that's a quick turnaround, right? Because right after inauguration, he seemed, for his personal polling, he seemed to be at record highs. So, just a couple of months later, that seems to be a big swing in his poll numbers overall.
Well, new presidents always enjoy something of a honeymoon period. What's striking here is how quickly a significant percentage of the public has seemed to sour on the president's job performance. And it's been occurring as there's been a number of things that the president has talked about as his rapid pace of change and improvement in the country. Americans don't necessarily see what's happened in the same vein.
Stephen, great job breaking down the numbers for it. As always, appreciate your time.
You bet.
I'm not a political analyst. I'm not a campaign advisor or political advisor. But obviously, when President Trump was running for his second term, the three main issues that he was campaigning on was the border, the economy, and global strife, I'll say, right? I'm going to end the Russia-Ukraine war in 24 hours was the quote. And we are going to update the Russia-Ukraine war a little bit on the show. I think if you polled just the border and what he's done, yes, there's been a couple of snags. One of the alleged gang members they deported to El Salvador turns out not to be a gang member and was here legally. And there's been some hiccups. But I think if you just polled his performance thus far in his second term on the border, I think the polling numbers would be high. It's the economy that is dragging down. And it makes me think in hindsight that really was the number one issue heading into the presidential campaign. It was the economy. It was the cost of living, the cost of foods and goods, of insurance, of housing. And, the stock market, if you go back last year, he was really good. And I know President Trump watches the markets. He can't be happy with what's going on. The worst quarter for the NASDAQ and the S&P since 2022, which I will remind you was during the Biden administration for sure. But the polling, I think if you broke down the polling numbers to two different measures, one, what President Trump's been doing with the border and immigration, and two, economy, I think you'd see a seesaw number, really high on the border, really low right now, and dropping on the economy. We are going to continue to monitor the stocks. The markets open in about 13 minutes. The Dow futures down just a little bit right now, but we'll see. Obviously, Wall Street and Main Street hates uncertainty. Some really shocking numbers there from Stephen Portnoy. All right, not shocked that we have plenty of interstate delays still on the roadways. Let's go live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center.
And Mark's still watching delays into Cobb County, and not helping things is a stalled-out tractor-trailer in a right lane, I-20 westbound at Panola Road, exit 71. Delays all the way back to Turner Hill Road, exit 75. And watch out for work crews on the right shoulder in Woodstock, 575 southbound just past Highway 92. Exit 7. This report is brought to you by The Book of Mormon at the Fox Theater. The Book of Mormon is a 9-time Tony Award-winning musical that returns by popular demand at the Fox Theater June 24th through the 29th. Tickets are on sale now at BroadwayInAtlanta.com. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
Why do you always go after the game show host of The Price is Right?
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
Don't tell me how to handle my life.
Eric Von Hessler.
Or anyone else.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
With our weather extremes, I wanted windows that would stand the test of time. Hi, it's meteorologist Glenn Burns, and I found them. I love my Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows from North Georgia Replacement Windows. I was blown away. They're energy efficient and incredibly durable, 8 times stronger than vinyl, so they last. Experience the fiberglass difference in your home or in their new Alpharetta showroom.
Infinity from Marvin Replacement Windows, yeah!
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head-scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing, it's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
For many of you, it's happening. Your hair's thinning, your crown's disappearing, and maybe hair loss has you feeling your identity is lost altogether. Well, I got good news. It's Advanced Hair's incredible yet simple one-day treatment that starts regrowing your own natural hair the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. It's Mark Arum back with you. We've all seen the pills and lotions that come with monthly subscriptions. They help retain what you have, but what about regrowing your hair permanently in specific areas? From Advanced Hair's state-of-the-art facilities to their world-class physicians, it's not maybe your hair will regrow. It's guaranteed that your new hair will grow. You decide how much, how thick, and where. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, and I've seen their results, friends. For your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts, call 470-660-HAIR. That's 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com. 9:23. Welcome back, friends, to this Tuesday edition of the Mark Arum Show. I want you to think about this. We're going to be joined later by correspondent Rory O'Neill. Of all the cities in the country, where do you think Atlanta ranks on a health basis? Do you think we're near the top? We're a healthy city, or do you think we're near the bottom as an unhealthy city? Take me out of it. I will skew any data that comes. But I just want you to think about that. Rory O'Neill's going to tell us how healthy the city of Atlanta is in just a little bit. First of all, I got to apologize, Deborah. I thought yesterday was Tuesday because I kept talking about the special election going on yesterday in Florida, and and no one corrected me. No, the special election's today. Today is Tuesday. Special election down in Florida. Even Eric Erickson, who was on the show yesterday, didn't correct me and be like, Arum, the election's tomorrow. That being said, it is today, and I just want to revisit, in case you missed our conversation with Eric yesterday, about the special election for these 2 seats. So this was me chatting with Eric yesterday on the show. 2 special elections down in Florida today, the Walt and Gates congressional seats. I'm assuming that Republicans not at risk in losing either of these. Am I right?
Well, the Gates seat, yes. The Waltz seat, the Republicans picked a bad candidate. Candidates still matter, and they might. It's the odds are in favor of the GOP, but only barely in the seat that Mike Waltz and Donald Trump won by 60%. They shouldn't lose this seat. They probably won't. If they lose this seat, yes, you can extrapolate a lot into it because the party that outperforms in midterm or in specials for midterm cycles has won the House 5 out of 5 times in the last 5 cycles.
All right. Now, if I was a campaign manager for either of these congressional districts in Florida, I would be worried that because of the big one that President Trump had, that it was the turnout of low propensity voters, right? Folks that don't often vote. And I'd be worried that they might not turn out on a random Monday at the end of March to vote. Is that a concern?
That is a concern. And Donald Trump has not campaigned down there in that seat. He probably should. A lot of people wondering why he hasn't. But yeah, part of it is mobilization of the Democrats in that seat. But the seat is overwhelmingly Republican. The Republicans have got to figure out how to motivate voters. The downside is that low propensity voters, who are now the base of the GOP, will turn out in a presidential election, but not for anything else. And that's a real problem for the GOP. In fact, people in the White House are already beginning to believe they're going to lose the House anyway.
Really interesting. So that was Eric yesterday, and he didn't correct me. You're absolutely right. I kept saying Monday. He didn't correct me. So that's obviously a very important seat. I personally don't see how the Republicans lose either of them, but Eric was a little pessimistic on the Waltz seat as opposed to the Gates seat. Coming up after the news at 9:35, we're going to go down to Florida and check the early lines on the polling. And we'll see what's going on with the special election. We also have the Wisconsin Supreme Court election in Wisconsin, Deborah's home state. Apparently $90 million have been spent in that election. That doesn't include the $2 million lottery tickets that Elon Musk gave away there. So we're going to go live to Florida when we come back after news, weather, and traffic. Again, the market's open in about 3 minutes. We'll keep an eye on that. Bad news. I don't know if Judd's going to do this. I hate to steal his headline, but Atlanta-based Hooters not doing well. Deborah will have an update on that. Deborah, not a former or a current Hooters employee, I don't believe, Deborah, right? Never.
No.
You never got a W-2
me
from
in food service, no.
Never. You've never worked in food service?
No.
Oh, all right. That explains a lot. That explains a lot. All right, so we're gonna Deborah's gonna update the Hooter story and so much more to talk about, including the return of Butch and Sunny. I blanked out for a second. The two astronauts. 286 days they spent in space. 286 days. They landed, and they spoke to the media yesterday. Jim Ryan's going to join us with what we heard from Butch and Sunny. Social media is active throughout the broadcast, at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
Window Nation customers have been singing our praises for years. With fast, local service and an industry-leading 96% customer satisfaction rating, it's no wonder.
I researched window companies for the last year to see what the average prices were and the quality of work. Window Nation nailed both.
Get 2 windows free with every 2 you buy. Pay no interest for 2 full years. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule a free estimate now. Call 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90NATION.
Is your heating and cooling system so old you can't remember when it was installed? If so, it's time to get protection from Reliable Heating and Air. Hey, friends, it's Mark Arum. Check this out. Let Reliable Heating and Air protect your AC from breakdowns and your budget. Just $14.99 a month. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. No deductibles, no claims or paperwork, no service fees, just coverage for your aging AC and heating systems. Get all the information you need online at reliableair.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Judd Hickenbotham. Our top story this half hour. Layoff notices head out today for workers with the Atlanta-based CDC and other federal agencies under Health and Human Services. Reporter Alexander Tin says it's all part of a plan approved by HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
In many parts of the department, entire teams and divisions were cut as part of the changes. And several senior leaders, including the FDA's top tobacco regulator, Dr. Brian King, were also put on leave.
Yeah, and all, it's believed, about 2,500 CDC workers will be among the up to 10,000 HHS employees who will lose their jobs or be reassigned as part of those federal cuts. It's 51 degrees right now in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says high will get back into the mid-70s for your Tuesday. Plenty of sunshine today. More clouds roll in tomorrow, but we could get close to 90 degrees by the end of the work week, possibly some record highs. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Well, it is official. As cleanup continues today, a tornado is to blame for some of the damage on Metro Atlanta's south side during Monday's storms.
The National Weather Service confirms an EF1 tornado packing winds up to 90 miles per hour hit Henry County, touching down first near I-75 and Jodico Road, then traveling east for more than 6 miles, taking down trees with it. One hit a home on Highland Drive. About 40 more came down along Brannan Road. It eventually weakened and lifted after crossing Highway 155.
WSB's Jennifer Perry reports damage assessments continue in other hard-hit areas as well, including Coweta and Fayette counties. Well, the floor is open today for public opinion as an open house begins for a $700 million project aimed at rebuilding and reconnecting all of downtown Atlanta.
With Atlanta's City Council moving forward on legislation to start making the stitch, including setting up a commercial property tax for it, Director Jack Seavey says planners want public input.
It really envisions a lot of new equitable development in North Downtown, centered around affordable housing and new housing opportunities, as well as opportunities for small businesses.
Seavey says the stitch would sew together North Downtown to Old Fourth Ward to English Avenue and cap the downtown connector with a 17-acre park.
The stitch has the opportunity to be the buckle in the Beltline.
Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
Boy, with the market remaining frustrating for first-time home buyers in particular, a new report from the National Association of Realtors finds one particular age group has been busy.
It's baby boomers, those as old as 79, who regain the top spot when it comes to those buying homes. 42% compared to millennials at 29%.
Correspondent Matt Piper says it's boomers in their 60s buying many of those homes as they prepare for retirement and they want to be closer to friends and family. And not sure if this is for everybody, but Apple is reportedly planning to bring an artificial intelligence-powered doctor to its health app.
There are reports that human doctors are being used to train the artificial intelligent agent that will act as a physician and health coach and make recommendations.
Michelle Franzen reports the revamped app is expected to be released next spring. It's 9:33 as we check your money, and just a day ahead of those anticipated tariffs from President Trump. The Wall Street is opening well down here for your Tuesday. Dow is down about 0.5%. S&P and NASDAQ also down to start the day. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather. Starting the WSB 24-hour traffic center, and Mike Shields.
And Judd, delays to continue into DeKalb County. I-20 westbound jammed up about 4 miles, leaving Turner Hill Road exit 75, trying to get past Panola Road exit 71 due to a stalled-out tractor-trailer in a right lane. You can always use Covington Highway as a way around that. Roadwork setting up I-20 eastbound at Westlake Chapel Road, exit 68. That's in the left lane of the CD ramp. And also work crews on the right shoulder, 575 southbound at Highway 92, exit 7. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, high 76, lows tonight in the upper 50s to low 60s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with an isolated rain shower possible, high 83. Mostly cloudy on Thursday and very warm with a high of 88.
49 degrees right now in Kennesaw, 52 in Norcross, 51 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
The The morning rush
Looks to
hour.
be a tanker truck crashed into the median.
Evening rush
It
hour.
is an absolute mess.
And everything in between.
Also, bring the speeds down. The rain is falling on 75 and 575.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic Center.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic. Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
3 are no longer with us, and 1 is...
President Trump delivering the bad, sad news about the missing U.S. soldiers in Lithonia. We'll update that story and go down to Florida and check the voting in the special elections 2 minutes away on The Mark Arum Show.
Our weather can be crazy. Dry for days and drenched with storms, extreme heat to bitter cold, and your roof takes all the abuse. Dave Baker for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. If your roof has problems, it may be showing you signs. Inside, look for wet spots on the ceiling or walls. Outside, check for streaks and stains or granules in the ground. If you find these, think of Findlay first. The perfect match for any roofing issues, and they offer 0% financing. Schedule your free roof analysis at findlayroofing.com.
Roof. Critical Link from Southern Link. We're more than a mission-critical LTE network. Together, we're a network of people that has you covered. Public sector grade push-to-talk, LTE voice, mobile data. Critical Link. Reliability in action. Call 866-450-LINC for Southern Link products and deals. Or visit Highfly Technologies in Atlanta or NextLink in Duluth. Go to southernlink.com to find a dealer near you.
Atlanta DIY landlords, listen up. If you're exhausted from managing your rental properties all by yourself, my friends at Renters Warehouse Atlanta offering a 90-day test drive. Hire Renters Warehouse to manage your rental property for a low flat monthly fee as low as $115. If you're not satisfied at any time in the first 3 months, you can fire them. Get your management fees back. What do you get for that low flat monthly fee? A dedicated property management team, maintenance coordination, move in and move out property condition reports, advanced tenant screening with a 9-month tenant warranty, professional photography and videography, lease renewal processing and negotiations, online rent collection, monthly owner cash flow statements, and more. Renters Warehouse, so confident you'll love their service, they want to audition for your business. Choice is yours. Keep DIYing or see how Renters Warehouse can make your life easier. Start your 90-day test drive today. Go to rwatlanta.com or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by.
You recognize this song, this voice? That's Susan Boyle. You remember her? She surprised people around the globe when she tried out for Britain's Got Talent. After placing second in the competition, Boyle landed a record deal. Here's her version of I Dreamed a Dream. She turned 64 years ago today. That was, Deborah, that was an early viral moment, right? You remember she was kind of like an older librarian?
Yeah, she kind of looked like a grandmother that was just having fun, and she shocked everybody.
She came out with that amazing just vocal. That was one of the first viral moments from those Britain's Got Talent or America. I don't know what those are, but she had an amazing voice. So happy 64th birthday to her. Before we get down to Florida, I want to update the sad news, the story we've been monitoring here. The 4 soldiers that trained in Fort Stewart here in Georgia went missing during a UN training exercise in Lithuania, and apparently 3 have been found dead. Ben Thomas from ABC, AP has the story.
3 are gone, and 1 is missing.
President Trump telling reporters he's been informed 3 soldiers missing in Lithuania since last week have been found dead in an armored vehicle.
Really heavy, that lifted the heaviest equipment, and it would seem that the bank of a lake collapsed. You know, the weight is so big, and it was at night, and it was very cold weather, ice, a lot of ice.
The conditions when we got out here on site were not like anything that we've ever had to dive through before.
Navy Lieutenant Eric Costello, part of the underwater team.
The amount of mud, diving in a peat bog, just complete zero viz, hard to move kind of diving.
As the president said, a 4th remains missing. The soldiers were on a tactical training exercise. I'm Ben Thomas.
All right, so 3 dead, one missing, presumed dead. Again, just an awful story. U.S. soldiers trained at Fort Stewart here in Georgia. They have not released the names of the soldiers yet, as far as I can tell. If we get them, we'll let you know who they were, and especially if they were from here in Georgia. Again, they were trained at Fort Stewart in Georgia. All right, it's A special election day today, not yesterday. Gave you a little pump fake there. 2 seats down in Florida. Let's go down to Florida. Reporter Steve Cortono is at Ormond Beach, Florida polling location. How's the turnout so far, Stephen?
There's been a steady flow of people coming into this polling district all morning. Certainly nothing like you would see on a normal election day, but there have been just a number of people walking in and out all morning long, weighing in on this race. And this is a race that few people anticipated would be such a hotly contested race. And as you said, the Democrats shocking both Republicans and Democrats by putting up a $10 million fundraising figure last month, outraising his Republican counterpart, Randy Fine, by a 10-to-1 margin, really starting a wave of panic in the GOP, where we saw top House Republicans and, I'm told, a top advisor to Donald Trump reaching out to Fine and saying, hey, you need to get your house in order and put up a fight here. And they certainly have been doing that since then. We've seen Donald Trump hold a tele rally for Randy Fine. We've seen Byron Donalds last night, Ben Shapiro, the conservative podcaster. There have been a ton of posts on social media encouraging Republicans in this district that they got to get out. It's definitely a different tone than we're seeing on the Democratic side. I was at an event for Josh Wheel. He's an Orlando teacher running in this race, and there was a lot of energy there, a lot of hope and optimism that they are about to send a message not just in Florida but to the country by winning this special election and making the House majority which is already incredibly narrow, even more tight, and giving Democrats a shot in the arm that they sorely need.
Steve Contorno at Ormond Beach, Florida. A steady flow of voters heading into those Florida special elections. I know very little about Florida politics. I know it's a red state, red governor, 2 Republican congressmen, the vacated seats of Gates and Waltz. I assume that they will hold. Eric Erickson, who we heard from yesterday and earlier in the show, thinks that the Waltz seat might be in jeopardy. But again, I don't know the poll numbers. I don't know the ins and outs of Florida politics, but I'd be surprised if the Republicans didn't win both of those special elections. Obviously, razor-thin majority in the House of Congress for the GOP. We'll monitor the special Florida elections and that Wisconsin Supreme Court election throughout the day, and we'll have the results for you hopefully tonight on 95.5 WSB. All right, good news. Butch and Sonny in the news again. The wayward astronauts returned home, and they made their first public appearance since returning from space yesterday. Covering the story from ABC News, our buddy Jim Ryan. Jim, good morning. What did Butch and Sonny had to say now that they're back home on Earth?
Well, they're certainly glad to be back, Mark. You know, after an extended stay in what was supposed to be a 9-day mission turns into a 9-month mission, 286 days aboard the International Space Station. They came down 10 days ago, almost 2 weeks ago, and have been reacclimating to life on Earth, specifically life in gravity. So, yeah, they've enjoyed time with their families down at the Johnson Space Center in Houston. They've had their favorite meals. Sunny Williams had a grilled cheese sandwich. She's been working out, though, and now is back to running 3 miles a day. Butch Wilmore also looking forward at some point in the future maybe to going back into space, even despite this long ordeal, if you will. Both Williams and Wilmore say they would do it all again.
Jim, did you say 286 days? That was the total amount they were in space?
36 times longer than they had planned. So, yeah, 286 days.
And I know they were adamant throughout that 286-day journey that they didn't feel stranded or, and they appreciated the extra time. But were they asked about the reason why they were stuck in space for 286 days? Did they offer reasons? Did they point fingers? Did we hear anything about that?
Well, yeah, in a way. The reason that this all got extended like this was that they went up aboard the Boeing Starliner, the Starship that carried them up to the International Space Station, had some technical issues. And so for safety's sake, NASA decided to bring the Starliner back without a crew. And so Williams and Wilmore were left there in the the International Space Station with a lot of other people, by the way, other astronauts, people who were working up there. And then finally, a plan was hatched to get them back on a SpaceX Starcraft spaceship. So, was there blame to go around? Wilmore says there was plenty of blame to go around. He says Boeing is responsible. He says NASA is responsible. And he says that Wilmore, is also responsible. He says that there were questions that he should have asked and didn't ask about the Boeing Starliner, about potential technical glitches. But in the end, he and Williams adapted. They changed their mindset. They changed their way of thinking, and they pivoted to a long haul in space as opposed to a very short one.
Interesting. Jim Ryan from ABC joining us on the Mark Arum Show, the successful return of Butch and Sunny. Did either of the astronauts talk about any physical effects that they have been dealing with since they've returned to Earth?
Yes, and that's been a big part of the transition back to life in gravity. Sunny Williams, during her time, during those 286 days, did 2 hours worth of exercise every day, such as you can in space, with resistance training and with isometric exercises, that kind of thing. She said that once on the ground, she continued that regimen, and she's up to 3 miles of running again, 3 miles in a day. So, yeah, it's been a difficult transition, but one that they were fully prepared for, and just 10 days later, they're feeling good.
286 days. Absolutely. I'm going to be honest with you, Jim. I would have crushed something more than a grilled cheese sandwich when I got back. I would have had a massive buffet and indulged myself.
Yeah, I suspect that may be in their futures. They said that they also, were glad to be with their families. That was a big thing. So Earth food and their Earth families.
Yeah. Well, glad they're back safe and sound. Jim, as always, appreciate your time. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Mark.
Deborah, did you watch the press conference yesterday with Butch and Sunny at all?
I did not. I missed it.
All right, so they both look great, but if you remember, when they were out in space for 286 days, by the way, that is mind-blowing. You remember her hair was just crazy. Like, it was up in the air, like space hair. And, I don't think you can cut your hair in space, right? I don't know, because the hair trimmings will float away and get into the gear. Sure. So I don't even think you can comb your hair in space. So she had like the craziest space hair ever. The first thing she did when she got home was ate grilled cheese, but she definitely went to like the salon to get her hair done, because her hair, it looked like it was a different person. Because we're used to seeing the videos of her floating around the space station with her hair going all crazy, and then yesterday it looked great, and she looked, I just can't imagine 286 days. That's insane. Good for them. They're back, and they want to go back up. I think that NASA owes it to them.
To send them back?
Yeah, I mean, right? If they want to go back, I'd be at least do something like throw them on Elon's rocket or something. Let them ride this out. They deserve all the kudos from a 9-day trip to 286 days. Now there are 9-day vacations that I wish would have turned into 286 days, but not a work event. You got a work trip, Deborah. We're sending you to Wichita for a radio conference. It's 9 days. You'll get a lot of training. It'll be fun. And then 286 days later. All right, Deborah, you can come back now. That's just a crazy story. All right, let's check trouble on I-20. When we come back, by the way, Deborah's going to go in-depth on 2 big drug stories for you. But now let's check I-20 live with Mike Shields.
And Mark, watching a crash, at least one lane block. I expect multiple lanes blocked with this crash right now with the sun in your eyes. I-20 eastbound, just past MLK Jr. Drive, exit 53. Think about Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, MLK Jr. Drive itself, or Hollowell Parkway as alternates around that. Also, delays starting to improve into Cobb County with a stalled truck that has been cleared 20 westbound past Panola Road. This support is brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
I've listened to many arguments, and there are good arguments to say that we shouldn't. So I'm just saying.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
This is the only way to do it. Some people are going to lose their job, and then they're going to be put back in the job.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
It's about you. You're being celebrated.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
How can your termite company claim your home's termite-free by only walking around the outside? Mark Aram for Breda Pest Management. Termites, the most destructive pest of all. They literally eat your home. Only Breda will come inside and thoroughly inspect your entire home with infrared cameras, and Breda guarantees your termite protection and will lock in your rate for 10 years. BREDAPest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
When it comes to your home, quality is crucial. Trust the Plus. Painting Plus. The Plus means siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and of course, painting.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus and the Plus family of businesses. Quality comes first. We have the most experienced exterior craftsmen in the industry.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
You take it for granted, but it's the biggest piece of moving equipment in your home, your garage door. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors. When trust matters, like when your garage door doesn't open or needs to be replaced, trust us. Here's why. All Four Seasons is a local, family-owned company built over 25 years ago on honesty, customer service, and teamwork. If you've got garage door issues, trust us to repair or replace. We'll make it easy. All, the number 4, seasonsgarages.com.
It's Diamond Month at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, and that means this month, buying diamonds comes with even more diamonds. All through the month of April, when you spend $9.95 or more, you'll receive a pair of gorgeous hand-matched diamond studs absolutely free. At $9.95, you get a quarter-carat pair of studs for free. $24.95, we'll give you half-carat studs. And at $99.95, you're going home with a full-carat pair of studs on us. All April long in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Can you take the power of your home internet almost anywhere? With Xfinity, you can. Hey, it's Mark Aram here. Xfinity built a network that's 99.99% reliable. Plus, Xfinity Mobile has Wi-Fi Power Boost, giving you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. Whatever you're into, you'll love how fast you can do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile together. Now through April 17th, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $30 a month for 1 year with no annual contract. And save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T. Plus, ask how to get a free premium 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. It requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment taxes, fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G Internet plus one unlimited mobile welcome line and AT&T Internet 300 plus one unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
9:52 on this gorgeous Tuesday. Nice and chilly in Midtown, 54. But Christine Edwards says we're going to break record highs later in the week. Christina's full 5-day forecast straight ahead. Monitoring the special election in Florida. We're monitoring the Wall Street reaction to the tariffs. Dow's down $1.89. NASDAQ only down 2 points. Again, Liberation Day tomorrow. The Trump administration going to lay out some broader tariff plans. I'll tell you what, though. The economy might not be doing well, but Deborah, it seems like the Trump administration's kind of scaring the drug cartels. If I'm reading this story right, they've been reacting to President Trump's second term.
Okay, Netflix, here is your plot for another season of Narcos. Cartel cooks have been ordered to stop production. An investigation found empty fentanyl labs left with supplies and equipment, but zero staff. A former cook came forward, revealed he was ordered to stop production, destroy things in the lab, and hide until further notice. Now, cartel members are said to be intimidated by President Trump's classification of them as terrorists. And if the drugs aren't coming to the States, well, where are they going? Europe. Portuguese police intercepted a narco sub loaded with over 6 tons of cocaine. It was found 500 nautical miles from the Azores. They arrested 4 suspects on the vessel, loaded with orange packages as well, and the sub is thought to have come from Colombia.
Deborah, I'm sorry. How much cocaine was on the narco sub?
Oh, I lost it. I'm sorry.
Tons.
A lot.
6 tons of cocaine? That's insane. And that just shows you, like, the narco bosses. Not only can they afford 6 tons of cocaine, but they have a submarine. They're like, where do they buy that? Does the U.S. Army have, or the Russian Army, do they have a yard sale?
They go to the surplus store. Don't they have a surplus store?
The Army surplus. The narcos not only have 6 tons of cocaine that they're shipping to Portugal, but they have a submarine to do it. I thought it's pretty shocking, though, that the first part of that story, Deborah, that was it the Sinaloa cartel?
One of them, yeah.
One of them. They're like, we're not going to mess with fentanyl anymore. Like, Trump has scared the cartels into dropping probably one of their best-selling items. That'd be like, RFK Jr., the Health and Human Service guy, scaring McDonald's so much that they're like, all right, we're not doing fries anymore. We're taking fries off the menu. Sorry, RFK Jr. Oh, speaking of that, this is bad news. It's April Fool's, but this is not an April Fool's joke to a lot of folks here in Atlanta at the CDC. Layoff notices by the thousands going out today to health-related agencies like the FDA and the CDC. The latest DOGE cuts in line with what Health and Human Services Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. has approved. CBS News health reporter Alexander Tin has details.
Notices began to be mailed out early Tuesday morning to thousands of workers at public health agencies throughout the Department of Health and Human Services, notifying them that they would be laid off as part of Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s restructuring of the department. In many parts of the department, entire teams and divisions were cut as part of the changes, and several senior leaders, including the FDA's top tobacco regulator, Dr. Brian King, were also put on leave.
I have a couple of friends that work at the CDC, and they've survived the cuts thus far, but they were really worried about what... And that's... Can you do it tomorrow? Isn't it a little extra salty to fire people on April Fool's Day? Right? Isn't that just...
Yeah, you don't know if it's true
exactly. Or not. I mean, fire them on April 2nd. Don't send out that email, hey, you lost your job, on April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day. Yeah, that's just salt in the wounds. So we'll monitor that. If any folks from that currently are employed at the CDC, if you have any insight into what's going on today, we'd love to hear from you at 404-872-0750, 404-872-0750. Give Vinny Bag of Donuts a call. You can use a fake name if you're concerned about that. But I do feel for, obviously I have friends that work there, but just in a broader Atlanta sense, the fact that pink slips could be going out today to the folks at the CDC, very vital part of the Atlanta economy and a vital part of the United States of America and the world health. A lot of these hotspots are snuffed out globally by the Centers for Disease Control. And I think it's just wrong that you're getting the pink slips in general, but especially on April Fool's Day. So if any from the CDC has any insight, love to hear from you. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Or you can hit me up on social media at Mark Arum, M-A-R-K-A-R-U-M. Again, if you want anonymity, you want to just slide in my DMs, that's cool. I just want to get some insight because I do really feel bad. Speaking of April Fool's Day, we're going to give you a history lesson when we come back. And how healthy is the city of Atlanta compared to its counterparts? We got some new numbers out. Correspondent Rory O'Neill is going to join us, and we're going to continue to update our top local stories. 11 o'clock hour, Deborah's got Blackberry smoke tickets to give away. Don't go anywhere. It's the Mark Arum Show on 95.5 WSB.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hey, it's Scott Slade for FGA Roofing. If your home's exterior could use an updated look, or maybe one of your neighbor's designer roofs has caught your eye, and your current roof has started to show its age, then now's the perfect time to check out FGA Roofing for the latest in architectural shingles, timberland shingles, and more. Slate, tile, wood shake, cedar roofs, FGA has them all. FGA Roofing offers 0% financing for 12 months with your good credit. Get the roof you want now and pay over time. Click firstgaroof.com. That's firstgaroof.com.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-9059. 800-575-9059. That's 800-575-9059 or simply visit TRA.com.
Monica Pearson for Superior Plumbing. Do you have a plumbing issue but have a busy weekday schedule? Superior Plumbing can schedule an appointment that fits your schedule. They show up on time and get the job done right the first time. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter. With the uncertainty of possible tariffs scheduled for April 2nd, Butler Lexus of South Atlanta has your pre-tariff Lexus right now. Visit before April 2nd for guaranteed pre-tariff pricing. Call 800-NEW-LEXUS.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. President Trump's tariffs are set to go into effect tomorrow, but today, investors are worried about what this may mean for U.S.-based businesses. Many saying they'll be forced to pass the additional cost onto you and me. Rebecca Jarvis says the markets don't like it.
There's still some very big unknowns here. First of all, the particulars of the president's plan, which is set to take effect tomorrow, and also how other countries might respond and retaliate. And that uncertainty is flowing and rippling over here on Wall Street.
Yeah, the markets are in the red this morning. The Dow's down 231 at 41,770. The Dow's down more than 0.5%. NASDAQ and S&P also in the red this morning. Employees across the massive U.S. Health and Human Services Department, they've started receiving notices of dismissal this morning, including here in Atlanta at the CDC. It's estimated that up to 10,000 people may be losing their jobs. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announcing a plan last week to remake the department, which through its agencies, is responsible for tracking health trends, disease outbreaks, conducting and funding medical research, and monitoring the safety of food and medicine. All right, your weather for today, a little bit better than yesterday for sure. Mostly sunny and warm, highs around 76, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. The National Weather Service confirming this morning at least one tornado did touch down during Monday's severe storms here in metro Atlanta.
The EF1 tornado first hit the ground near I-75 and Jodico Road in Henry County with winds of up to 90 miles per hour, taking down trees with it, including one on a home on Highland Drive and about 40 more on Brannon Road. After about 8 minutes, it loses some of its punch and lifts after crossing Highway 155. The twister leaves a 6-mile path of damage, but no one was hurt.
That's WSB's Jennifer Perry reporting. A verbal dispute escalates into gunfire at a gas station in Marietta. Police say 2 men were fighting at an ATM at the Citgo station off Franklin Way when one of them pulled out a gun and fired. The gunman took off. The victim was alert and conscious when he was transported to the hospital. Investigators this morning looking through surveillance footage now in hopes of identifying the shooter and working out exactly what happened. A Publix grocery store in Brazelton is recalling some batches of ground beef this morning because it may be contaminated with foreign material. It was sold at the Publix in the Vineyards Shopping Center off Georgia Highway 211. You're being urged to throw it out or you can return it to the store for a refund. We have more information on this ground beef free call at WSBradio.com. Looks like a record number of students are trying to get into Georgia Tech now.
Almost 67,000 applications were submitted for Tech's upcoming class with over 100 countries and all 50 states represented. The school has extended 8,500 offers and placed another 7,500 on a wait list. Engineering, computing, and sciences account for over 80% of the intended fields of study. 55% of the applicants are men and 12% first-generation students. New online master's offerings account for some of the increased demand, but in-person enrollment has accelerated as well in recent years. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
All right, have you been running? Interested in doing the Peachtree Road Race? Registration is now open for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution Peachtree Road Race.
It's a little bit later than it normally is. It's traditionally in March, but we're excited to keep this open from April 1 to April 30th.
Rich Kanah, Atlanta Track Club CEO and Peachtree Road Race Director, says they'll cap registration at 55,000 runners this year, and they are now returning to a lottery system this year, with results being announced in early May. This will be the 56th running of the world's largest 10K road race. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca is in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Sabrina, watching delays persist on the West Freeway in from 285 along I-20 eastbound. A crash taking out a couple of left lanes past Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. And then you've still got stop-and-go traffic along the downtown connector, 7585 northbound, making your way up from University Avenue past Freedom Parkway and the Grady Hospital curve. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, high 76, lows tonight in the upper 50s to low 60s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and isolated rain shower, high 83. Thursday, mostly cloudy, very warm, high 88. That's trending about 20 degrees above average.
53 degrees right now in Johns Creek. It's 54 in Decatur and Fairburn. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Tuesday morning to you. Mark Aram here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. My microphone's acting wonky. There we go. Gang's all here today. Deborah Green, the executive producer of the show. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Vinny Bag of Donuts screens your calls. Still to come, we're going to monitor the special elections down in the Sunshine State. 11:35. Deborah's got more tickets to give away to see Blackberry Smoke. We're going to update our top local stories, obviously, throughout the day. I do want to update tomorrow is Liberation Day. President Trump calling it Liberation Day, where he's going to expand the tariff situations. The reaction on Wall Street and Main Street has not been good thus far. I want to know more about what we know or don't know about Liberation Day. U.S. and global economies bracing for the impact of sweeping tariffs from President Trump, but we have very few details, unfortunately. Economists say one thing is certain, though, Americans likely to see higher prices. That's sad. CBS News White House correspondent Weijia Zhang has more.
In a sense, it's a rebirth of a country.
Trump has revealed little beyond this.
Because that word reciprocal is very important. What they do to us, we do to them.
But he indicated the rate for the tariffs on imports would not be equal to what countries tack on to U.S. goods.
We are going to be very nice by comparison to what they were. The numbers will be lower than what they've been charging us, and in some cases maybe substantially lower.
Just one day away from the announcement, the White House has yet to share exact figures or a list of impacted nations. Mike Elmendorf, who heads the Associated General Contractors of New York, says the lack of information is causing harm.
It is the uncertainty of how this policy has been rolled out or rolled back, communicated, that has already created an environment in which we're seeing the cost of these materials go up today.
That could impact every construction project, he says.
Relatedly, this was an angle that I didn't see coming yesterday evening. China, Japan, and South Korea have said they will respond together to the tariffs, but President Trump said he's not worried about it. You don't often see China, Japan, and South Korea come together on a single issue. I'm not going to say they're enemies, but there's certainly tensioned relationships there, especially between Japan and China and South Korea and China. But they're all coming together to respond to the tariffs. We'll find out more. We are starting to see some Republican pushback on these tariffs. The several GOP senators indicate they planned on joining Democrats today to vote to block blanket tariffs on Canada. Senator Susan Collins from Maine said Monday she plans to back the resolution led by Senator Tim Kaine, Democrat of Virginia, that would terminate the national emergency Trump declared last month, citing fentanyl trafficking and illegal immigration. Trump has used that declaration to justify 25% across-the-board tariffs on America's northern border and neighbor and leading trade partner, duties that Trump had threatened to start levying later this week. A quote from Senator Collins: imposing tariffs on Canada, which is our closest neighbor, a friendly ally, is a huge mistake and will cause disruption in the economies of both countries. She warned of a political fallout, including job losses for her key states' industries, including lobstering and wood pulp, as well as a potato and blueberry production. Collins, poised to join GOP Senators Rand Paul of Kentucky, who's a co-sponsor of Kaine's resolution. Think about that. Rand Paul signing on and co-sponsoring a Democrats' resolution, strong opponent of the tariffs. Tom Tillis of North Carolina, who's also expressed concerns about Trump's tariff plans for North American neighbors, and Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa, one of many of the farm state Republicans who's raised particular concerns about the Canadian tariffs, also said he was undecided on the Kaine resolution. I think a lot of this is going to be in the details, right? The devil's in the details. What is President Trump going to reveal on Liberation Day tomorrow? We need more information. Wall Street obviously needs more information. The Dow's down 400 now. NASDAQ down 80 points. Again, my hope through all of this was that President Trump was just using these tariffs as a negotiating tool. But the closer and closer we get to Liberation Day and global tariffs now, not just tariffs on the automotive industry and not just tariffs on Canada and Mexico, but global tariffs, I need to know exactly what President Trump has planned. But he's already starting to see there's some cracks in the armor now, as a handful of Republican senators, none too happy with what's going on Main Street and on Wall Street. Obviously a huge story we are going to continue to monitor. All right, joining us, I want a lighter story, so we task our buddy Rory O'Neill, correspondent, joining us on the Mark Arum Show. Rory, good morning. Before I take credit or blame for the numbers, new studies out on America's healthiest cities. How does Atlanta stack up with the rest of the country?
Well, not so bad, actually. In fact, according to the Wallet Hub survey, pretty good. They ranked 182 cities across the country. Atlanta, Georgia comes in at number 20. But there are some other Georgia cities quite literally on the other end of the spectrum. Columbus, Georgia, 179 out of 182. And Augusta comes in at 170.
Ooh, all right. So I'm not surprised by the low numbers in Columbus and Augusta, but I'm surprised that Atlanta is considered a pretty healthy city, ranking in the top 20. That's pretty remarkable. What factors went into this data?
Yeah, so there are four categories overall. Atlanta scored 19 in two of the categories. Food rank, in terms of how many grocery stores are available, how many farmers markets are available, that kind of thing. And the fitness rank, in terms of people getting off the couch and either saying that they have a healthier lifestyle of going to the gym and working out more frequently, at least claiming that. So that's where two of the areas where Atlanta scored, again, number 19 on the survey. Pretty well on the green space rank, the amount of green space where people can enjoy the outdoors. Met the Mets on the health. The health survey, they came in at 74. So some room for growth there when it comes to healthcare, either physical or mental health care.
Interesting. All right, the healthiest city and the most unhealthy city in the United States. Any surprises here?
Well, a little bit. And considering who I talked to all morning long, a lot of anger. The healthiest city in the country, San Francisco.
Interesting.
So, that's a touch point of a town. But when you think about it, I know there are plenty say, but the homeless people are filling up the parks and there's dog poop in the streets. And you're like, okay. But on a map of green spaces, it still looks pretty good, right? So if you're not there on the ground and you're just looking at a map, green space is one reason. San Francisco ranked number one in that category. And of course, as being one of the best food cities, San Francisco ranked number one for food as well on the survey. The healthcare access, they came in at 51, fitness 35. So it was really the food and green space that put San Francisco over the top. But boy, these Wallet Hub folks love the West Coast. Honolulu was number 2, Seattle number 3, Salt Lake City 4, and San Diego 5.
I could see all of those. All right, the least healthy city in the United States is what?
Well, if you go west for healthy, go south for unhealthy. Number 180, Shreveport, Louisiana. 181, Gulfport, Mississippi. And dead last, 182, Brownsville, Texas.
Oh, all right. There you go. Brownsville, Texas is the least healthy city in the United States. I want to ask you, Rory, it's April Fool's Day. I'm not a huge fan of today's day, but give me a little background on the history of April Fool's Day and some of the best pranks ever pulled.
Yeah, we think it dates back to 1582. That's when France switched up its calendar. They used to use the Julian calendar, which meant that the start of the year started in April after the equinox. Actually sort of makes sense. But then they moved to the Julian calendar, or rather they moved to the Gregorian calendar with things starting in January. So if you were still celebrating the new year in April, you were the April Fool because you weren't aware of the calendar change.
Okay, that's interesting. A little history note there.
Always a ton of, and this has turned into a marketing thing now. You know, Burger King had the left-handed Whopper. Taco Bell bought the Liberty Bell for the Taco Liberty Bell. So it's got a PR thing. But one of my favorite jokes, 1957, the BBC did a full report that Swiss farmers were having a bumper crop of spaghetti. So go do yourself a favor, look up BBC spaghetti on YouTube. It's a wholly serious black and white. It looks like a documentary. It's the women with the handkerchiefs plucking noodles out of trees, laying them out to dry, wicker baskets, the whole thing. It's so well done and dead serious. 1957's Spaghetti Harvest.
All right, that's pretty good. I will look that up. Rory, great stuff as always, buddy. Have a great day.
Thanks, Mark.
I am not a fan of pranks at all. I like jokes. Pranks are no good. I've noticed, though, at least maybe it's just because I'm getting older and my social circle's getting older. No one's played an April Fool's joke or prank on me, Deborah, in I can't even remember how long. Or maybe my friends just know don't prank me. Or do you think April Fool's Day is dying off?
Yeah, I'm not into April Fool's Day either. Like, I don't have the energy to go through all of that. So don't waste my time. I'm not going to set up an elaborate scheme or anything like that. I just can't.
I think it might be a tradition that is just dying. Vinny, our resident Gen Zer, are you familiar with April Fool's Day? Is it a thing in your age bracket?
I'm familiar with it. Is it a thing?
Do you have April Fool's plans today? Are you going to prank Gnocchi or Colby or anything? No. Yeah, I mean,
not on my mind.
Yeah,
no.
I think the younger generation just doesn't care, which is a good thing. Speaking of the younger generation, this is a crazy story about Gen Zers and email addresses. What can you tell us, Deborah?
You want to know if you're old? Tell a Gen Zer your email address. If it's firstname.lastname@gmail.com, well, you're officially old. Remember when Gmail launched, you were invited to join, and many people used their first and last name to get away from those AOL nicknames that they initially had. Other ways Gen Zers know you're old: if you're using Yahoo, Hotmail, or Earthlink accounts, or having an address that's first initial and last name @gmail.com.
Now, all right, so that's interesting. Now, I get it. Hotmail, if you're still using a Hotmail account, I'm not judging, but people will judge you.
I have a Hotmail account, but only for my gaming stuff.
You don't use it for...
No.
You're not putting it on a resume.
No.
Right? If you have, Vinny Bag of Donuts at hotmail.com or Vinny Drip at... Hotmail is not considered a professional... Gmail is a... I think some folks still use the Yahoo. But the name part, Deborah, that's what is crazy to me. Why is it not cool to use mark.aram at yahoo.com? Or why do Gen Zers look down upon the using your name in your email address?
It's not that it's not cool. It's just that, say, there are 17 Steve Johnsons out there. So by the time Gen Z is getting to it, they can't be that they're, Steve.Johnson 78 or something like that. So if you're the original, if you're the mark.aram.com or at Gmail, you must be old if you got on the first wave of that.
Well, I've got an added advantage. I am the only Mark Aram in the entire world. So I use my old email, my old AOL email used to be markaram19 at AOL.com. The only reason it started at markaram at AOL.com, and don't email me to any of these because I don't have access to them. But I signed up when I first moved to Atlanta. I signed up through my uncle's AOL account And I signed up markaram@gmail.com. And then he got mad at me for something. Like, he didn't want me sharing his account anymore. I get it, Uncle Marty. I get it. So he deactivated AOL, and I had no recourse to save that Mark Aram. So then I just threw my baseball number at the end. So markaram19@aol.com. But all right, that makes sense, because if you're old like me, you were around when these email addresses started going. There was one. Basically, all our email addresses at work are our first name, last name at CMG or whatever. And I've only saw one, and I can't remember what one of our coworkers, but there was a Jane.Doe2 at CMG.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there are two women in our company that have the same name. So the one that got 2 on it, I think it was Ashley.Frasca2, maybe?
That makes sense.
Yeah, that does make. That's a very popular name. People are going to be squatting on those email addresses. Speaking of which, joining us live in the 24-hour traffic center, checking I-20 delays, Ashley.Frasca2.
You know my email address. It was aklusko, right?
Oh, that's right. I'll tell you some of my funnier ones when we come back.
All right. Yeah. First, let me update the situation on the West Freeway. They are temporarily holding all lanes with a crash on I-20 eastbound past Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. Pretty stout delays back at I-285. So I would advise you to use Hollowell Parkway in through West Atlanta. And also picking up a crash that's blocking part of the left lane, Highway 78 westbound before Mountain Industrial. Traffic brought to you by Zenshi Handcrafted Sushi. Discover Zenshi Handcrafted Sushi. High quality, affordable, and made fresh daily at your local Publix markets right by the seafood counter. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
When the weather is at its worst,
It is moving northeast at 55 miles per hour.
we're at our best.
Raining very heavily. Been seeing the traffic lights glowing like I've never seen before.
Download the WSB radio app to stay up to date.
These tornadoes can form for no more than 10 minutes. 10 minutes is not a long time, but it could be just enough time to cause damage.
95.5 WSB, your severe weather station.
Quick rundown of some famous domes. We had the Georgia Dome, the Astrodome. We have the Gold Dome. We have the Taj Mahal, the Dome of the Rock. All these famous domes. If your dome is famous, then fine. But if your dome is not famous and hairless, you might want to check out my friends at Advanced Hair. Hey, it's Mark Aram. Check this out. Great new deal for my friends at Advanced Hair. Schedule a free consultation first by calling 470-660-HAIR. That's 470-660-HAIR. And once you get that consultation scheduled, check out this amazing offer. 250 free hair grafts and $250 off. What makes Advanced Hair so special? Top-notch facility, top-notch personnel, and amazing guaranteed results. Your own hair guaranteed to grow the very next day, and it's guaranteed from Advanced Hair. Book now at advancedhair.com. That's advancedhair.com, or call 470-660-HAIR.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
When it comes to beautiful, they wrote the book. Siding, paint, windows, and doors gives your home a brand new look.
At Superior Pro, we use the highest quality materials and the best techniques in windows, siding, painting, doors, and more.
Plus, all our projects come with an extended labor warranty. Visit SuperiorPro.com for a free in-home design consultation.
Superior Pro, the pros to know.
We're all getting long in the tooth, friends. Am I right? What about your heating and cooling systems? Are they aging? Well, let Reliable Heating and Air protect your AC from breakdowns and your budget. Just $14.99 a month. Reliable Heating and Air, licensed, bonded, and insured. Amazing service. I can tell you firsthand, Reliable is the best. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. No deductibles, no claims or paperwork, no service fees, just amazing coverage for as low as $14.99 a month. And next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. So protect your aging heating and cooling system with the amazing folks at Reliable Heating and Air. Just $14.99 a month gives you amazing peace of mind. Get all the info and schedule a consultation online at ReliableAir.com. That's ReliableAir.com. Don't wait until your aging systems go kaput. Get your protection now at ReliableAir.com. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Deborah, here's a cool story for you. 4 separate biopics, one for each member of the Beatles, will be released in April of 2028. And now we know who will be playing the Fab Four in director Sam Mendes' passion project. Harris Dickinson will play John Lennon. I don't know who that is. Paul Mescal will play Paul McCartney. I don't know who that is. Barry Keoghan will play Ringo Starr. I don't know who that is.
Yes, you do.
And Joseph Quinn will play George Harrison. Mendes made the announcement Monday night at CinemaCon in Las Vegas. So I know those actors that are going to be playing?
I think if you saw them, like if you, that guy, like those are those kind of actors.
Okay.
You would recognize. They've been in some big movies. You would recognize
So
them.
I know their names, but I just, I don't know their names, but I would know their faces. All right.
Yep.
But that's pretty cool. 4 separate biopics on each of the Beatles. All right. But we got to wait till April of 2028 for those. Goodness gracious. All right. This is a name we've been talking about too much. Secretary Waltz, right? The Signal Gate story going to the White House now with Elena Treen. It seems like the Trump administration, Elena, says that Waltz is safe and this issue's all behind him.
Well, look, I think that's still unclear. But for the moment, as you mentioned, they are very eager to move on. And I note that the White House was eager to move on from this story days ago, especially, even immediately after it had initially dropped. But what's different now is that behind the scenes and internally, they are ready to move on as well. Now, just to take you behind those scenes and give you a little sense into how the president and his team had been looking at this. Look, it was clear that the president was frustrated by this, and particularly what appeared to be some of the ineptitude of some of his top aides by using this chain for very sensitive information. And of course, for inviting a reporter, not just any reporter, into that chain, but a reporter that President Donald Trump has really disliked for several years now. They have a very fraught history, the president and the Atlantic's Jeffrey Goldberg. All to say, behind the scenes, we know that there were questions about how to handle this. Now, what was also clear is that the president, during his first term, had, a very quick turnover of aides, particularly national security aides, very early on, and that was something that he did not want. He had lamented that had happened during his first term. He didn't want that to be a trend that he carried with him to his second administration. And so, again, behind the scenes, it became very clear that, they weren't going to fire Michael Waltz or others, despite maybe some of that frustration and other aides, questioning whether that could be the right move, in part because they didn't want to look like they were caving to media pressure on this. Take a listen to how White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt referred to it yesterday.
As the president has made it very clear, Mike Waltz continues to be an important part of his national security team, and this case has been closed here at the White House as far as we are concerned. There have been steps made to ensure that something like that can obviously never happen again, and we're moving forward.
So as you heard it from her there, that they're trying to move forward with this. One key thing that she did mention as well is they are taking steps to try and make sure this doesn't happen again. We know that there is an internal review, questions over how to continue and if to even continue ever using this Signal app. Of course, not for sensitive information like they had used it with this attack in Yemen. But the other thing as well to keep in mind, Sarah, is that this isn't necessarily going to go away. We know that Republicans on Capitol Hill are going to be digging into this. They want a classified briefing. They're going to be conducting an investigation. We were told that different federal agencies are going to be doing that as well. But for now, they are really trying to move on from this and particularly get the media to move on from it.
Lane Trine at the White House. When we come back after news, weather, and traffic, the latest on the special elections down Florida way. That's next on the Mark Arum Show.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from My Roofer, FGA Roofing. If your neighbor's designer roof has caught your eye, search FGA Roofing. And for a limited time, get $1,000 off your final quote if you mention you heard about it on the radio. Search FGA Roofing. That's FGA Roofing. And ask about 0% financing.
How easy is it to save energy and money in 30 seconds? Let's count the ways. Power down unused devices. Swap out traditional bulbs for LEDs. Adjust your thermostat for the season. Change your air filter. Move furniture away from your vents. And turn off the lights when you leave a room. Georgia Power's more than just your power company. We're your saving sidekick. Get started at georgiapower.com/energy efficiency today. Ready, set, save.
Mom and Dad seem different after a European-style holiday on MSC Cruises.
Call us Cloud and Yvette.
The ship had restaurants, shops, and nightlife.
La Galleria.
And of course, American touches, like an aqua park and a sweets shop.
American je ne sais quoi.
Mom, you're from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Kevin.
Book now and save up to 30% off, plus kids sale free. MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
Attention men. Are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now. 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
Dave Baker here for AquaGuard Foundation Solutions. When it comes to spring cleaning and fixing up around your house, you can do a lot of things by yourself, but there's one thing you can't do. You can't really fix those uneven cracks in your driveway or sidewalk or patio. That's where AquaGuard comes in. They'll quickly and expertly repair those uneven concrete issues so your surroundings will be safe and worry-free. Schedule your appointment today at aquaguard.net. If you have uneven concrete issues, just remember AquaGuard.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by your Metro Atlanta Amco dealers. U.S. job openings slipped to 7.6 million in February, consistent with a healthy but decelerating job market. And speaking of jobs, layoff notices started going out this morning at U.S. health agencies, including the Atlanta-based CDC. Up to 10,000 government employees who work under the Department of Health and Human Services are expected to lose their jobs. It's part of Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s plan to overhaul the department. The makeover is expected to cost 2,400 jobs at the CDC. Most CDC workers are not unionized. The layoff notices come just days after President Trump moved to strip workers of their collective bargaining rights at HHS and other agencies throughout the government. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB. Might be a great day to take off early if you can. Mostly sunny and warm. Highs around 76, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Happening right now, police are looking through surveillance video in hopes of identifying a shooter involved in a fight this morning at the Citgo gas station on Franklin Way in Marietta. Police say two men were fighting at an ATM machine at the Citgo gas station when one of them pulled out a gun and fired. He took off. Police searching for him now. The victim was alert and conscious when taken to the hospital. Georgia Tech sets a new all-time record for applications. For the upcoming fall enrollment, the school receives nearly 67,000 applications and has admitted slightly over 8,500 students. An additional 7,600 are on a wait list right now. Senator Cory Booker is still talking on the Senate floor in protest of the Trump administration.
I read a lot of angry letters. People who were demanding of me to do something to stop them, do something different. Stand up, speak up, Senator. I'm afraid. Stand up, speak up, Senator. I'm so angry. Stand up, speak up, Senator. The services for my disabled child are threatened. Stand up, speak up.
Now, the New Jersey Democrat started his marathon speech at 7 o'clock last night, went through the night, and says he will go as long as he's physically able. Booker is protesting President Trump's tariffs, steps Trump's take to dismantle the Department of Education and other policies, saying that the nation is in crisis. The speech means staff, police, and others working the Senate chamber also have worked through the night. There's a new report this morning from the National Association of Realtors that says that baby boomers now make up the largest generational group of home buyers. 42% of all home buyers in the past year. Millennials dropped to 29% of all buyers. That's down from 38% a year ago. Jessica Lutz is with the National Association of Realtors.
The bulk of the baby boomers who are purchasing homes right now are 60 to 69. So they're purchasing a home as they enter into retirement, but they really want to be close to friends and family. So perhaps the idea that they're chasing the grandbaby and they have a lot of housing equity to make these home purchases.
Now, the poll found that 90% of home sellers did work with a real estate agent, and homes typically sold for 100% of the final list price. Golfing fans focused on Augusta over the next couple of weeks. Players are practicing for the Augusta National Women's Amateur, which runs Wednesday to Saturday. The Masters will take place at Augusta National next week. The Georgia DOT saying they're going to be suspending lane closures through April 14th since traffic is going to be much heavier than normal. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 367 at 41,634. NASDAQ is also down, so is the S&P. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca is in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
The biggest delays are in on the West Freeway traveling from Fulton Industrial Boulevard along I-20 eastbound. But the better news, that crash past Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, that has cleared to the shoulder. Still to avoid the backups, use Hollowell Parkway. And police just arriving on the scene of a crash in the left lane, Highway 78 west before Mountain Industrial. And look out for a stalled tractor trailer leaving Buford 85 north. The right lane is blocked before Hamilton Mill. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, high 76, lows tonight in the upper 50s to low 60s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with an isolated rain shower possible, high 83. Mostly cloudy on Thursday and very warm with a high of 88.
It is 56 degrees right now in Canton. Roswell, you have 55, 56 here in Midtown Atlanta. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB. The U.S. is investing up to $1 billion to fight the spread of bird flu.
At the top and bottom of every hour.
Traffic congestion around Metro Atlanta continues to cost commuters.
And when it breaks.
The suspect is in critical condition after being struck multiple times.
Check back 3, 4, 5 times a day for the latest.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
Coming up next, we'll check on the special elections going down in Florida, and there might be a way that we can help prevent Alzheimer's. I'll tell you next on the Mark Arum Show.
Hey, folks, it's Shelley Winter here. You know, sometimes they make fun of me around the office because I doze off at my desk while doing show prep. Well, you know why that happened? It's because of a lack of sleep. I have sleep apnea. So if you snore or have sleep apnea also, you're not living life to the fullest. So listen up. I know you're tired, but in all seriousness, this is important. My friends over at Palmetto Sleep are changing lives with a custom-fit oral appliance that stops your snoring and treats sleep apnea. I'm not talking about something you buy out of a supermarket. This is a custom-made for your mouth and covered by your private medical insurance. What I love most is that they do everything from the diagnosis to the delivery of the oral appliance and everything in between. They even provide a take-home sleep study and virtual consults. If you're ready for a great night's sleep, you're ready for Palmetto Sleep. Go to palmettosleep.com. That's palmettosleep.com right now. Don't suffer from another sleepless night. palmettosleep.com.
Tomorrow, some of us will wake up and it will be our last day on this earth. It will be unexpected and without warning. Each year, 250,000 people will die from medical malpractice, the third leading cause of death in America. 43,000 will die in a car or truck crash. 6,000 will die working on the job. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, and we represent many of these families. It's awful. Unfortunately, many times some of these family members are not speaking and never get to say, I'm sorry or goodbye. If you're at odds with a loved one, listen closely. Pick up the phone. Call them. Say you're sorry. I promise a huge burden will be lifted from your heart and your soul will be renewed. Even if you're not wrong in your own mind, it doesn't matter. Death is bad enough. Death without closure and love will follow you the rest of your days. Trust me on this. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Protect your turf from termites. Call Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters. And Breda's proud to sponsor Scott Slade's Georgia every Thursday on Atlanta's Morning News.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
10:37 on this very busy Tuesday news day. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. 1 hour from now, Deborah Green's going to give away tickets to see Blackberry Smoke, so stick around for that. Monitoring a couple of big local stories, including we are hearing from sources that pink slips could be going out today at the CDC. We're going to monitor that story for you throughout the day. Good news in the battle against Alzheimer's in just a second, but I want to update the Russia-Ukraine war. AP correspondent Charles de Ledesma reports Germany's chief diplomat has described President Trump's effort to secure a truce in the 3-year war between Russia and Ukraine as deadlocked.
German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock arrives in Kyiv for an unannounced visit and says due to the deadlock between the US and Russia on forging a ceasefire deal, European allies' continued support for Ukraine in the war is absolutely crucial. Meanwhile, China's foreign minister has said it's encouraging talks between Washington and Moscow on finding a settlement in Ukraine are continuing. Baerbock also praised the resilience and resistance of the Ukrainian people, saying Putin wanted to conquer Kyiv and Ukraine in 3 days. After more than 3 years of the most brutal Russian aggression, it's more than clear Putin's plan has failed and has forced not only Ukraine, but also Russia into a cruel war of attrition, which Putin's not winning. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
I've been very pessimistic, as you know, if you've been listening to the show, about some sort of a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine, because I just don't see Putin coming to the table and giving up anything, and this makes me even more pessimistic. This story breaking yesterday from Euronews, Russian President Vladimir Putin has ordered the conscription of 160,000 into military service. The decree, which was reported by the news agency Interfax and also published on the government website for legal announcements, says the conscription applies to all citizens between 18 and 30 and covers the period from April to July. The official statement said that, quote, soldiers, sailors, sergeants, and non-commissioned officers who conscripted military service has expired will be discharged from military service. The Russian military traditionally holds conscription twice a year, once in the spring and again in the autumn. So Vladimir Putin getting ready to add another 160,000 into the Russian military service. From my vantage point, that is not good news if we do want a ceasefire deal between Russia and Ukraine. I'm not going to lie. I think my grandfather suffered from Alzheimer's. He passed away in 1984. It was seemingly healthy, and then one day my grandmother got a call from the mall down in Florida, and they're like, "We found your husband. He doesn't know who he is." And then shortly after that, he died, and we never really got the cause. But looking back, it seems like it was Alzheimer's. Maybe a way to fight Alzheimer's. It's not an easy task, though. Deborah Green, what can you tell us?
Time to download Duolingo or Babbel. Research suggests that being bilingual can help protect the brain from the effects of Alzheimer's disease. Being able to speak 2 or more languages boosts the brain's resilience to fighting off or at least slowing down cognitive decline. A study between monolinguals and bilinguals was done, and all the bilinguals were able to preserve those memories better.
That makes sense to me, right? If you want to keep your brain active, is there anything more activating to the brain than speaking more than one language? I speak a little bit of about 9 languages, but I'm certainly not bilingual in any way, shape, or form. I need to become bilingual in Japanese, but that's a tough road to hoe. But Deborah, that's great news for you, right? You are absolutely bilingual. So yeah. You are not immune to Alzheimer's, but it certainly helps your cause knowing that you can speak 2 languages fluently.
Yeah, and I'm trying to learn other languages too. Like anytime I travel, I learn enough of that language where I can at least kind of get by and ask some basic questions.
And now you know how to speak Southern because you've been down in Atlanta so long. So you got
do what now?
Do what now? You know English, Spanish, and Southern. Quick question before we get to Tori and Small from CBS. Do you ever dream in Spanish, Deborah?
Yes.
Really interesting. Yeah. All right, yeah, Maya dreams in Japanese as well. Very interesting.
Really?
Yeah. All right, so you want to fight Alzheimer's? Learn another language. All right, continue to monitor the 2 special elections down in Florida. Joining us live from CBS News, reporter Torian Small. Torian, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, good morning. Glad to be here.
We've been hyper focused on this, the Sunshine State, obviously bordering Georgia. What do we know about the special elections, and do we have any idea how turnout's been so far today?
Yeah, so this is one of two races that we're watching. I'm in Florida's 6th Congressional District. That's where Mike Waltz, who's now Trump's NSA head, recently vacated his seat in order to be elevated to the administration. This is a solidly red district, voting for Republicans in the past elections by 30-plus points. So it's predicted and expected that Republicans will hold this seat. I think where the interest comes from is the fact that the Democrat in this race is doing well, above expectations. According to polling, it shows him within striking distance of the Republican, and he's a virtual outsider. He touted himself as a single dad as being one of his biggest accomplishments, and he's a public school teacher. He's also a progressive Democrat, saying one of the first things he wants to do, if elected, is join the Progressive Caucus and then push for a bill that will support Medicaid or Medicare for all. So it's pretty telling and interesting that this is a man who's run on a pretty far left platform, but is being, at least in terms of polling and what he's saying at his events, is being supported by Republicans potentially as a referendum on the president.
So interesting because, as you mentioned, that's a heavily red Trump district for this special election for the Waltz seat. I just assumed that the Republicans would easily win that. But you echo what we had conservative commentator Eric Erickson on the show yesterday said that Republicans are kind of nervous about that Waltz seat because a lot of money has been spent. They're kind of worried about turnout. I just thought it was a fait accompli that the Republicans would hold that seat. But interesting that the polling shows the Democrats within striking distance.
Yeah, and on the note about funding, that was a question that I brought up to Randy Fine, who is the Republican in this race. He's actually a state senator, so he has a larger name ID, but he is woefully outraised by his Democratic opponent and Josh Weil. I asked him about this disparity, and he said, look, I didn't get the same amount of support as he did from outside of the district, but when it comes to fundraising inside the district, he's brought in just under $1 million. That compared to $10 million, obviously, doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but he's implying that there are outside forces that are leading to this inflation of performance from Weil in this race. I also want to mention, though, that both of these candidates, even though they're running for this seat, do not live in the district.
Oh, really?
It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. It is kind of a weird district. We actually are staying at a hotel that's right on the Daytona 500 track. So it's one of those districts that has a lot of character, and even Fine, who is a state senator, kind of represents it, is slightly outside of it, but both have committed to moving to the district if elected.
CBS's Torian Small joining us live from Florida here on the Mark Arum Show. Special elections, it's all about turnout. Do we have any idea who and how many people are going to show up to the polls today?
Yeah, well, leading up to this, we were watching early voting, and Republicans had the edge over Democrats there. It's, I think, historically would have been seen as a big deal, but I think especially after the previous election and the encouragement from the parties at the top, we've seen more Republicans utilize early voting, mail-in voting to show their support. I will say, though, we're still tracking to see if the engaged voters, especially in an off-election year like that, are actually supporting their party or if they're utilizing their vote to protest. We did talk to at least one Republican who said that he isn't satisfied with his candidates that he had to choose from. He is a supporter of Elon Musk and Trump, but he wasn't a fan of Randy Fine. So he said he might hold his nose to vote. But as we're hearing from Democrats, they think that this could be a nonpartisan issue when it comes to pushing back on Trump's very aggressive 70-plus days in office by voting in a Democrat in this time.
Torian, the Matt Gaetz seat's safer for Republicans to hold on to?
Yeah, that's what Democrats are telling us. They're not expecting to win that seat either. They are probably expecting a larger gap. But the goal across the board in Florida for these two races is just to narrow the margins. Again, 30-plus points in both races. If Democrats can come out of this saying, hey, we lost by 10 points, that still sends a message in their minds to the president, to House Republican leadership, who's most likely sweating the most because they have such a fragile majority that they're holding on to, that says that come midterms, it could be even more disastrous for you guys if we're making gains now.
Interesting. Final question, Tori. Do we expect to have results tonight or tomorrow morning, or is it going to take a while?
Yeah, fortunately, in my county or district at least, we're expecting the polls to close at 7. All early votes have been or are already in. Same with mail-in votes for the most part. So we're just expecting probably within the 8 o'clock hour Eastern time to get most of those results in. I'm not expecting too late of a night, but I always prepare myself just in case I accidentally jinx myself.
Understood. Tori and Small, CBS News, thanks for jumping on live in Florida for us, buddy.
All right, talk to you later. Bye.
There you go. And if the results come in tonight, we will have them for you on 95.5 WSB. Coming up next, this is pretty crazy. Scientists have discovered a new flower. I suspect that will be talked about on Green and Growing this Saturday. Oh, speaking of, the host of Green and Growing, checking delays in Gwinnett County, it's Ashley Frasca.
And my executive producer, thanks for passing that story along to me. Now a stall in the backups on the West Freeway reported in the center lane, I-20 eastbound near Fulton Industrial Boulevard, and then slow past that due to the earlier crash. Now on the shoulder past Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. You got some delays through the work zone. Just be careful. 285 south headed past Langford Parkway. Cruiser in the right lane. And a stalled big rig continues to slow you down into Gwinnett County, 85 north. That's just before Hamilton Mill. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
Why do you always go after the game show host of The Price is Right?
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
Don't tell me how to handle my life.
Eric Von Hessler.
Or anyone else.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. If your home's exterior could use an updated look, or maybe one of your neighbor's designer roofs has caught your eye, search FGA Roofing for the latest in designer architectural shingles. Ask about 0% financing. That's FGA Roofing.
This is Rocco with another reason why you should always bring your European vehicle to Rocco's European Garage. No tax charged on any service at any one of our 6 locations through the month of April. That's 0 tax on your bill. You'll receive the usual top-notch customer service, including upfront pricing, customer approval prior to beginning work, complimentary shuttle service, and a 3-day appointment window to get you back on the road quicker. And remember, guys, no tax this month on any service or repair at Rocco's European Garage.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
So, a guy knocks on your door, shows you a shingle that fell off your roof, and then tells you that your roof needs replacing? Sound familiar? Did he also ask for the name of your insurance company? Hi, this is Candace from Exovations, and I want to tell you what you should do the next time someone like this knocks on your door. Smile nicely, say no thank you, close the door, and call Exovations. Why? Because too many times roofers like this end up getting your home insurance policy canceled. At Exovations, we'll first determine if you actually need a new roof. Then we'll discuss all of the roof system and shingle options. And we'll make sure that your roof is installed on time, on budget, and without all the stress caused by Mr. Knock on my front door roofing guy. Schedule a free consultation today at exovations.com. That's EXOVATIONS.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Do you have a special needs child or an older adult in your home? The risk of them leaving the house unnoticed is real and terrifying, but you can protect your loved ones with Vivint Home Security. Right now, Vivint is offering a free doorbell camera with any new plan, plus free installation and low monthly monitoring plans. Call 800-953-6693. That's 800-953-6693. Monthly service agreement required for free installation.
10:53 on the Mark Arum Show. Confirmation, we're going to check in with Bloomberg News at 11:35. Pink slips going out today at HHS and here locally at CDC. 11:35, we'll get the very latest live from Bloomberg News. A little better news on the stock market. Excuse me. Dow Jones Industrial down 115. NASDAQ, though, up 41 points. So a little bit of mixed news there, but some good news for the NASDAQ portfolio. We will monitor the markets throughout the day here on 95.5 WSB. Quick correction, Deborah. I apparently misspoke when we were talking about the missing soldiers in Lithuania. My Atlanta Roots showing, I apparently said missing soldiers found dead in Lithuania. It's Lithuania. I apologize. And someone on Twitter is like, you got mad when no one corrected you yesterday about the special election on Monday. So I want to make sure you knew that I said mistakenly Lithuania, not Lithuania. Again, the sad news there, 3 soldiers found dead, 1 missing, presumed dead in Lithuania, not Lithonia. Stank on you. All right, I teased that flower story. You're going to hear more about it from Ashley Frasca on Green and Growing this weekend. But it isn't every day that scientists discover a new flower. ABC's Wayne Cabot has the story.
A park ranger in West Texas came across a curious purple and yellow flower with furry leaves at Big Bend National Park. That was a year ago when it was coming into bloom. Well, scientists now are back in that rugged desert, hoping it will bloom again. Because of drought, it might not, but a bit of rain recently is giving them hope that they will see this beautiful new flower they call the woolly devil. New species, new genus in the same family as sunflowers and daisies. Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
The woolly devil. How about that for a name? Now, I'm all for new flowers, new species, but I don't need any more pollen in Atlanta. So keep that woolly devil out in Texas. There's been too much pollen throughout here. So he mentioned new genus of flower. I saw this documentary yesterday, Deborah. It was a Nova documentary about DNA. And first of all, we all remember Jurassic Park, right? The backstory there, Deborah, is they found DNA, blood in a mosquito that was trapped in amber, and they were able to create dinosaurs. First of all, DNA cannot last 65 million years. Scientists like that, the oldest DNA they've ever found was 1 million-year-old DNA. Like, that's the record age on DNA. And it wasn't a dinosaur because dinosaurs weren't here. But I watched this documentary about this, I think he was a Swedish scientist that came up with the idea, instead of just getting DNA from fossils or things like that, he thought you could get DNA from dirt. He was watching a dog poop in the rain. And, he's a DNA scientist, and he thought to himself, all right, there's DNA in dog poop, and it's being, transferred into the soil, maybe we can extract DNA from soil. So this was 25 years ago, he started this journey to pull DNA out of the soil, and he went to Greenland, the frozen desert tundra of Greenland, and after 15 years, the technology caught up where they were able to find DNA 2.5 million years old. And they found all of these extinct plants and animals, like crazy DNA breakthrough. If you just search NOVA, and it's called, dirt DNA. I forgot the scientific name. It was really, really crazy. Really, it was a great story. I just love all that stuff. All right, quick break. We'll come back updating our top local stories. Next half hour, Deborah's got tickets to give away Blackberry Smoke, and we're going to check in to see if our friends at the CDC got those pink slips today. Social media is always active throughout the broadcast. Thanks for hitting me up on Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum, MarkArum.
WSB Atlanta, WSBV FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
When your termite bond renewal comes in the mail, do you cringe wondering, how much more are they going to charge me now? I want you to switch your termite protection to Breda Pest Management, and your termite rate is locked in for 10 years. Hey friends, it's Mark Arum. When was the last time you actually saw your current service inspect your home for termite damage? Let me guess, they just walk around outside and check the bait stations. Well, it's the termites inside that could be eating your home. Feel safe with Breda's early detection process using advanced technology. They'll inspect inside and out, giving you total peace of mind that your home is termite-free. Termites, the most destructive bug of all, but Breda is so confident they guarantee your protection, and only Breda will lock in your termite rate for 10 years. Breda Pest Management, they handle bugs and critters like termites. BREDA Pest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
This is Monica Pearson for Superior Plumbing, the honest plumber. Like me, Superior Plumbing has been doing business for more than 40 years. Trust me, to last that long takes dedication to doing the job right and building trust with your customer base. I've used Superior Plumbing for years, and owner Jay Cunningham is committed to making you a customer for life, too. Next time you need a plumber, visit thehonestplumber.com.
Dave Baker here for Artisan Custom Closets. Spring cleaning? Not a fan. However, ever since I had Artisan Custom Closets help me redesign my bedroom closet, spring cleaning has gotten a whole lot easier. See, Artisan helped me to design an affordable, luxurious closet system tailored to my needs. Every project they do is installed by an Artisan professional, generally in under a day. Schedule your free design consultation with the master designer at ArtisanCustomClosets.com. P.S. They did my garage too. I love it.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It's 11 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. This just in, WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards just now telling me that Coweta County tornado damage survey is done, and the National Weather Service says that it was an EFO tornado that touched down east of Noonan yesterday, and there was a confirmed tornado in Henry County, too.
The National Weather Service confirms an EF1 tornado packing winds up to 90 miles per hour hit Henry County, touching down first near I-75 and Jodico Road, then traveling east for more than 6 miles, taking down trees with it. One hit a home on Highland Drive. About 40 more came down along Brannon Road. It eventually weakened and lifted after crossing Highway 155.
And that's WSB's Jennifer Perry reporting. Weather for today, much better. Mostly sunny and warm with a high of 76. We'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. A verbal dispute escalates into gunfire at a gas station in Marietta. Police say 2 men were fighting at an ATM at the Citgo station off Franklin Way when one of them pulled out a gun and then started shooting. The gunman took off. The victim was alert and conscious when he was taken to the hospital. Investigators are now looking through surveillance footage in hopes of identifying the shooter and trying to piece together exactly what happened this morning. The Georgia Institute of Technology has established a new all-time record for applications.
Georgia Tech received almost 67,000 applications for fall enrollment and has accepted 8,500 new students. UGA in Athens announced a record application total last month, topping 48,000 with nearly 16,000 acceptances. Tech received applications from all 50 states and over 100 countries, with 44% of them listing engineering as their intended field of study. Many of those accepted will not enroll at Tech. The school has a stated goal of 4,000 students for the incoming freshman class. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Layoff notices started going out this morning at U.S. health agencies, including the Atlanta-based CDC. In all, up to 10,000 government employees who work under the Department of Health and Human Services expected to lose their jobs. It's part of Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s plan to overhaul the department. It's expected that 2,400 jobs will be lost here at CDC headquarters in Atlanta. The layoff notices come just days after President Trump moved to strip workers of their collective bargaining rights at HHS and other agencies throughout the government. Happening right now, Senator Cory Booker carrying an all-night speech protesting the Trump administration's agenda, including cuts to Social Security and about concerns that broader cuts to the social safety net could be next. Booker took the Senate floor last night and was still speaking this morning. Nicole Killian has more.
The senator has said that he will do this as long as he is physically able. He has kind of gotten a periodic assist from his Democratic colleagues, certainly one of the longest records we've seen in terms of holding the floor.
And Booker has said that he would yield for questions but not give up the Senate floor. As we take a look at the markets, the Dow right now is down 51 at 41,949. NASDAQ is actually in positive territory, up almost 0.5%, and the S&P is up slightly. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Right now, we're watching a jam up in northern Gwinnett County. It's due to construction and a stalled big rig. The construction's in the right lane, 85 northbound, Hamilton Mill Road, exit 120. There's also been a stalled big rig in the center lane, so that's been leaving just the left lane open. You can use Highway 124 as an alternate. Elsewhere, if you're traveling through downtown, 75, 85 and northbound, on and off the brakes from Langford Parkway up to Freedom Parkway, some southbound delays through Midtown, and right lane construction, 285 southbound, the outer loop, just below Highway 166, Langford Parkway, exit number 5. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, high 76, lows tonight in the upper 50s to low 60s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, an isolated rain shower, high 83. Thursday, mostly cloudy, very warm, high 88. That's trending about 20 degrees above average.
And WSB Storm Tracker radar is clear. It's 58 in Mableton, partly sunny and 56 in Ackworth. Doraville, you have 58 degrees right now. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
No, I want this town to be near you.
11:04 on this marvelous Tuesday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Aram and crew at your beck and call till noon. 30 minutes from now, go live to Bloomberg News. Pink slips expected today at Health and Human Services and Atlanta's-based CDC. We'll update that big local story. Another local story we started at the top of the show. The Braves season, well, they've come stumbling out of the gate on and off the field. They lost yesterday to the Los Angeles Dodgers. They're now 0-5. I believe, on the season, but that's not even the headline. The headline is the Braves star outfielder, their big free agent signing in the offseason, Jurkison Profar, tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. He is suspended without pay for 80 games and is ineligible for postseason play if the Braves do make the postseason. Waiting to hear what the Braves are going to do in the outfield. They did sign a free agent minor leaguer, but a big blow to the Braves playoffs. So speaking of the Braves-Dodgers series, we're going to get to tariffs in just a second. Deborah, did you see that story about former Brave Freddie Freeman? And
I saw the headline.
Yeah, so Freddie Freeman, right, beloved Atlanta Brave, will forever be an Atlanta Brave. He's now with the Dodgers. He's been dealing with a rash of injuries in the last couple of years, rib issue, ankle issue, and then he had the health problem with his son. We obviously wish nothing best for Freddie and his family, but apparently he missed yesterday's game because he slipped coming out of the shower and like messed up his already bum ankle. At that point, do you need, with the Dodgers, I mean, they're worth $9 billion. Don't they get him one of those elderly tubs To I mean, yeah, I mean, listen, Freddie's in his 30s. He's not old in human terms, but in baseball terms, he's getting up there. What are those walk-in? You've seen those commercials, right, for the walk-in tubs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did the Dodgers be like, Freddie, we're going to get you one of these walk-in tubs. We can't have you be slipping in.
They should get him that as a prank.
On April Fool's Day. There you go. Anyway, I hope Freddie's okay. Hope the Braves are okay. I understand Braves fans are furious at Jurickson Profar. But I don't blame him. I would have done the same thing. If you came to me when I was playing college ball in 1991 and said, hey, take these steroids and you'll make the major leagues, I would have done it. I absolutely would have done it. So I'm not judging him. It stinks. It's horrible. It's bad for the Braves. It's bad for the fans, the organization, his teammates. But I'm not going to cast aspersions. I would have done the exact same thing. He signed a $40 million contract. Give me steroids now. If you sign me to it, Ken, if you're listening, you want to inject me with HGH and then sign me for a 3-year, $42 million contract, I'm ready. We'll do it on the live stream at WSB Radio. We'll do it on the video. You can inject me with whatever you want for $42 million. Anyway, I just wanted to update that big local story. Back to the tariffs real quick. They're braced for Trump's tariffs overseas.
I'm Vicky Barker at the Foreign Desk in London. Here's the BBC interviewing Britain's business secretary now that it's clear the UK has not managed to negotiate an exemption to the tariffs.
Suck it up to Donald Trump didn't work, did it? Well, we have engaged with the US.
A new survey shows most people in Western Europe favor retaliatory tariffs against US imports if Trump's tariffs are as wide-ranging and disruptive as feared. German and British car makers and French luxury goods and wine likely to be hardest hit.
That's Vicky Barker in London. Tariffs, the headline here. And again, tomorrow, Liberation Day. We're going to get more tariffs announced by President Trump. Speaking of President Trump, joining us from ABC News, it's Stephen Portnoy. Stephen, this is Main Street not happy with the tariffs, Wall Street not happy with tariffs. And now we got new polling numbers when it comes to President Trump and how he's been handling the economy so far in his second term. What can you tell from these numbers?
Well, it's not a great picture for the president. This is an Associated Press poll out yesterday morning that shows that nearly 6 in 10 Americans disapprove of how the president's handling the economy. And specifically when it comes to how he's handling trade negotiations, 60% disapprove, 38% approve. Now, you could say that sometimes, polls go one way or another for a particular president, but Donald Trump has historically always had the public's favor when it comes to his handling of the economy. That's changed. And why? Well, you could look at the stock market as one measurement of sentiment and certainly what's affecting sentiment. I mean, you look at the headlines in the newspaper today. The first quarter of this year closed out yesterday, and it led to the worst performance in the stock market since late 2022 when Donald Trump argued that the economy was being run off the rails by Joe Biden. And why is it happening? Well, you can't point to some sort of global trend here because overseas stocks are performing better than stocks here in the United States. Why? Well, one likely reason, if you talk to investors and analysts, is the uncertainty in the markets over these tariffs that the president has been talking about for months and is set to finally put in place later this week, barring some other late development. And, the president has said that there would be some disruption. He's indicated there'll be some pain. Investors certainly feel it. Americans who look at their 401ks certainly see it. And to what end? The president has talked about tariffs for a number of different reasons. He likes the idea of using them to try to put pressure on other countries. He likes the idea of using them to promote domestic manufacturing. And you've heard him talk about that in recent days about American car makers. But then there's the idea of external revenue, the idea that he has to come up with ways to offset the cost of some of his campaign promises. He's promised no taxes on tips and overtime or Social Security benefits. Well, where's he going to come up with the money to offset that? Well, how about tariffs? Well, who pays the tariffs? Americans who buy imported goods. And when it comes to cars, you could think of GM, Ford, and Chrysler as the American automakers. So you want to support Detroit. You might eschew your Toyota or your Honda and switch back to American car makers. Well, you might find that some of those American cars that you expected were made in Detroit are actually being made now in Canada and Mexico, because when those automakers established those plants, those countries were free trade zones. So how much of those American cars are actually made in the United States? What percentage? It's not clear. And what will the impact be? The president's talked about 25%. So if you have a car that's $50,000, well, let's just say you were hoping to buy a car for $50,000. All of a sudden it costs you $57,000 or $58,000. You might not have had that in mind.
Stephen Portnoy from ABC joining us on the Mark Arum Show. And this polling numbers came out before tomorrow's Liberation Day, where we're going to get more numbers on the tariffs. Overall, though, does this poll talk about President Trump's overall approval rating, not just how he's handling the economy?
Well, views of the economy are driving the president's overall job performance rating down. So right now, 42% of Americans in this poll support the president's job performance and say he's doing a fine job, but 56% disapprove. He's underwater by 14 points.
And that's a quick turnaround, right? Because right after inauguration, he seemed, for his personal polling, he seemed to be at record highs. So, just a couple of months later, that seems to be a big swing in his poll numbers overall.
Well, new presidents always enjoy something of a honeymoon period. What's striking here is how quickly a significant percentage of the public has seemed to sour on the president's job performance. And it's been occurring as there's been a number of things that the president has talked about as his rapid pace of change and improvement in the country. Americans don't necessarily see what's happened in the same vein.
Stephen, great job breaking down the numbers for it. As always, appreciate your time.
You bet.
Again, more tariff news expected tomorrow. President Trump going to hold an announcement at the White House. He's calling it Liberation Day. From what we know very little about what the plan is for tomorrow and the Liberation Day announcement, but it's going to be global tariffs. We'll see what kind of impact that could cause here in Georgia. I must say, though, if President Trump doesn't run for a third term, and I've said this before, and I don't think he's going to run for a third term, but he doesn't have to worry about his poll numbers. He doesn't, right? If you're not running for re-election, if you're termed out, what do you care what the poll numbers are? You want to get your agenda done. Now, there are Republican senators that might be worried about the poll numbers. There might be concerns about the midterm, might be concerns about the special elections down in Florida today. But what does President Trump care if the poll numbers, if he's never running for office again? He wants to get done what he wants to get done, right or wrong. You agree or disagree with what he's doing. He's not running for election again. So it doesn't matter if his poll numbers are dropping. He's underwater. He's got, this 2-year runway to do whatever the heck he wants. And he is certainly doing whatever the heck he wants. There's no doubt about it. Speaking of tariffs, apparently folks are spending less in preparation of the upcoming tariffs. Deborah, what can you tell us about that?
Americans' wallets are opening up just a little bit less now. Less dining out, less hotel stays and other expenses, trying to hold on to savings as tariffs create economic uncertainty. Consumer spending went up by 0.1%, while personal savings rose to 4.6%. And even the wealthiest Americans who kind of drive the economy, they're cutting back on things like vacation and luxury items.
I'm trying to think. I guess I'm cutting back, Deborah. I got BOGO chicken nuggets for lunch yesterday from McDonald's on... they tasted different, by the way. I haven't had a chicken nugget at McDonald's in a while. I'm buying fewer baseball cards, which is my...
Wow.
Yeah,
that is how the economy is adjusting.
No, I haven't stopped buying them. And
you're buying less.
I am buying less, but it's not like I'm making a conscious decision going, oh, those tariffs are coming. I've got to stop buying. No, I'm not thinking about it. But the more I think about it, I am spending less on superfluous stuff. Right? Dining out less, maybe? No, not really. No. I don't know. Interesting. I thought because there was a rush at the car dealerships that people would be spending more leading up to the tariffs. I had a funny story. Maya ordered the groceries from Publix this weekend on not DoorDash. What's the
Instacart?
Instacart. So if her Sundays are really busy. So if she doesn't have time, she'll order on Instacart, go to Publix and pick it up. And no reflection on Publix or Instacart, but sometimes they goof up the order. They give us extra stuff or they forget to give us stuff. And they gave us extra toilet paper. Like Maya didn't order toilet paper. She didn't know until she got home. They put it in the back of her car. And she gets home and she pulls out this toilet. She's like, oh, they gave us extra toilet paper. Here, do you want it? And I looked at the wrapper, and I don't know the brand, but it says the selling point on the wrapper of the toilet paper, like the plastic, you know what I'm talking about. Charmin Ultra Soft. It's like the softest on the planet, or the selling point was lasts longer. Like that was the selling point, like lasts longer. So I knew right away this is not a toilet paper that I'm gonna be partaking in. And then, sure enough, Maya opened up the roll. She's like, "Oh, I'll just put it in the guest bathroom." And she came back up. She's like, "I can't even put this in the guest bathroom. It's single ply.
Oh.
It's sandpaper. It lasts longer." When you know that's the selling point, you know that's a poor toilet paper. She's like, "So what do we do with it?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Should I bring it to work?
Yep.
Should I give it to the homeless guy with the feather duster that's getting the pollen off? Like, what do I do, Deborah, with this toilet paper that no one in the Aram household is going to use?"
Oh yeah, you leave it in the news trough. Somebody will use it.
Yeah, somebody will pick that up.
Somebody, even if they use it for something else like
Oh,
tissues or
yeah.
to clean something or whatever, somebody will use it.
Oh, you know what? I'll bring that because the studio is always a freaking mess.
Yep.
I'll just use it after I clean off the studio. I'll spray the Windex or whatever, the cleaning, and I'll just use the toilet. Oh, Deborah Green. I think she just got star of the show. Well done. All right. Last longer toilet paper. Anytime that's the selling point of the TP, turn the other way and run. Some breaking news before we check traffic. Speaking of the BOGO chicken nuggets at McDonald's. Deborah, you're not going to believe this. In the middle of fish sandwich season during the Lenten period, I got the BOGO nuggets from McDonald's on Uber Eats, and I also got the Filet-O-Fish sandwich. I found out yesterday Alex Williams has never had the legendary Filet-O-Fish sandwich from McDonald's. I find that hard to believe, Alex. How have you never had the Filet-O-Fish?
Well, because when I go to McDonald's, I'm getting a burger.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that.
Never? Not even during Lent?
I asked Mark. I thought maybe he'd brought it to us once a few years ago. That was the Chick-fil-A one I was thinking of.
If I didn't bring it to but I mean, we know about Alex's palate. I just assumed you've had the Filet-O-Fish at some point in your life. But
add it to the list.
There you go. Breaking news. Alex has never had a Filet-O-Fish. He does have news, though, and it's not great for commuters on 85 in northern Gwinnett County. What do you have, little guy?
Yeah, all jammed up, leaving the Mall of Georgia, heading up 85 northbound. They had a stalled big rig in the center lane where they're also doing construction in the right lane. So for a while, that left just the left lane open. The stalled big rig has cleared, but the construction continues. 85 northbound, Hamilton Mill Road, exit 120, slow leaving the Beaufort Drive region. If you're traveling I-20 east into DeKalb County, you got the right lane construction on the through lanes approaching Wesley Chapel, and the left lane blocked on that collector distributor ramp near Wesley Chapel Road as well. So that's causing some 285 east and northbound delays, leaving Flat Shoals Road. Traffic brought to you by the Georgia Lottery. Hey, Georgia, Powerball gives you plenty of chances to win millions. With 3 weekly drawings, you have the chance to be a multimillionaire on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Play Powerball today. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
If you have the WSB radio app.
If you have the WSB
all
app.
the notifications you
If
need.
you have the WSB app.
All the local and breaking news alerts you need.
Breaking news in Cobb County.
All in one place.
We'll send out an alert on the WSB app.
The 95.5 WSB app.
Download it from your app store today.
I know we just started spring, but already Maya and I have turned on the AC in our house a couple of times. Hey, it's Mark Aaron back from my pals at Reliable Heating and Air. We are going to use our AC a lot this summer. I'm sure you will as well. Great new deal from my friends at Reliable. Check this out, folks. Get any size air conditioning, any size AC, just $69.99 a month. Zero down payment, low monthly payments, unbeatable lifetime warranty, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Yes, any size AC, just $69.99 a month, zero down, low monthly payments. Don't go into another sweltering summer with your old AC unit. Get a new one from my friends at Reliable. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the Schedule Service button, or call or text 770-594-9969, 770-594-9969.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163. 546.
Window Nation customers have been singing our praises for years. With fast local service and an industry-leading 96% customer satisfaction rating, it's no wonder.
I researched window companies for the last year to see what the average prices were and the quality of work. Window Nation nailed both.
Get 2 windows free with every 2 you buy. Pay no interest for 2 full years. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule a free estimate now. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
It's Diamond Month at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, and that means this month, buying diamonds comes with even more diamonds. All through the month of April, when you spend $9.95 or more, you'll receive a pair of gorgeous hand-matched diamond studs absolutely free. Shopping for your wife? Tuck those studs away for your anniversary. Upgrading your ring? Surprise your daughter with her first pair of diamonds. No matter how you spin it, there's no better deal in jewelry than Diamond Month at D. Geller & Son Jewelers. All April long in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Great song, amazing artist, Marvin Gaye there. 41 years ago today, Marvin Gaye was shot to death by his father in L.A. Marvin Gaye Sr. later pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter, received probation. I knew that story, didn't know that. 41 years. Is there anyone better than Marvin Gaye, Deborah? I mean, what a talent there.
Yeah, that voice is undeniable.
Yeah, I hear that song. That was the theme song of that 80s movie where they all come back for a funeral. Kevin Costner died, but they never showed Kevin Costner's face. Kevin Kline was in it, and Glenn Close was in it. Goodness gracious, it's such a good movie, too.
Is it the
Big Chill? Big Chill. Yeah, that's a great. Anyway, Marvin Gaye died 41 years ago today. Shot by his dad. Yikes. You thought you had a bad dad, Longoria. He was shot by his dad.
Didn't shoot me. He just never showed up.
Bad news for fans of wings and things, Deborah.
Oh, say goodbye to the orange shorts. Hooters has filed for bankruptcy. Sorry, guys, you're going to have to go eat your wings somewhere else. The company faces a $376 million debt problem. They're blaming inflation, labor, and food costs as Americans are not spending as much money dining out.
I think a lot of it, too, is, Hooters used to be like the spot to get wings. Now you can get wings just about everywhere. There's so many places where you can get them at Pizza Hut, you can get them at Domino's, and all these wing chains sprouted up. A couple of quick Hooters stories. First of all, I didn't think I knew they were based in Atlanta. I didn't go to my first Hooters till I was like 25. There were none in Connecticut and where I was in New York. And the first Hooters I ever went to was in Auburn, Alabama. And I was stunned at the menu selection. Like they like steamed clams and crab legs, and I was like,
what you were stunned about.
I was like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. Lisa Campbell used to anchor Atlanta's evening news on 95.5 WSB. Was a huge fan of Hooters wings, and like once every 2 months, she would order like 400 wings for the newsroom. And people, they're breaded wings. That was the first time I ever had a Hooters wings. They're breaded. They were delicious. So, all right, I just think I understand what they're saying, but I think that there's just so many other options for wings right now. It's not like 1994 where if you wanted wings, you basically had to go to Hooters. Now you can get wings at the supermarket. You can get wings delivered. Oh, that reminds me. Deborah, remind me I have to talk about the Beltline when we come back.
Oh,
I might be changing my tune on the Beltline.
Wow.
Yeah. How about that for a tease? You know how anti-Beltline I am. I might be changing my tune, and I'll tell you why. News, weather, and traffic in 3 minutes. When we come back, why I'm changing my tune on the Beltline, and pink slips expected today at the HHS and CDC. We'll get the very latest live from Bloomberg News after news, weather, and traffic.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The biggest and best gun shows are the Eastman Gun Shows, and they're coming this weekend to the Clarence Brown Arena in Cartersville. This weekend, Eastman rolls into town with the best selection of guns, knives, hunting rifles, scopes, clips, shotguns, and accessories you've ever seen in one place. Bring your whole family, rain or shine. We have everything for the lovers of the right to bear arms. It's Saturday from 9 to 5 and Sunday from 10 to 4 at the Clarence Brown Arena in Cartersville. Eastman Gun Shows, proud supporters of the Second Amendment.
Hi, this is Candace from Exovations, and have I got a tip for you. Don't just take my word for it. For over 20 years, you've heard me on the radio sharing remodeling advice. But if you really want to know what sets Exovations apart, go read our reviews. You'll see words like amazing work, incredible experience from start to finish, and again, stress-free. But don't just listen to me. Listen to our reviews. Google Exovations or visit EXOVATIONS.com.
City of Hope, a place where seemingly impossible blood cancers become treatable, curable. With more than 19,000 bone marrow transplants performed, we're the largest and most successful program in the U.S., making major breakthroughs in treating leukemia, lymphoma, and rare blood cancers, personalizing a treatment plan right down to your DNA. Now the experts striving to make the impossible a reality are closer to home. Learn more at cityofhope.org.
Hey Kroger shoppers, get ready for Customer Appreciation Week happening March 26th through April 1st. We've packed 7 days with amazing deals. And if you're a Boost member, you can save even more. Get excited and get ready to save. Thanks for being such an awesome customer. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Customers can save big on Kroger brand pasta and Kroger brand broth. Select varieties are only 99 cents each with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
That spot on the ceiling, it's only gonna get worse. Hey, it's Dave Baker from the experts at Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Findlay now has 0% financing available, so it's even easier to get your roof replaced. FindlayRoofing.com.
Roof. Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. The National Weather Service confirming this morning 2 tornadoes touched down during severe storms in the metro area Monday.
The EF1 tornado first hit the ground near I-75 and Jodeco Road in Henry County with winds of up to 90 miles per hour, taking down trees with it, including one on a home on Highland Drive. and about 40 more on Brannan Road. After about 8 minutes, it loses some of its punch and lifts after crossing Highway 155. The twister leaves a 6-mile path of damage, but no one was hurt.
And WSB's Jennifer Perry reports that a second tornado touched down in Noonan. The EFO tornado damaged trees in the Legacy Estates and Manchester subdivisions. Your weather for today, much better than yesterday. Sunny and warm. Highs around 76, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. This is new at 11:30. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi says she has directed federal prosecutors to seek the death penalty against Luigi Mangione, the man accused of gunning down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson outside a Manhattan hotel in December. Mangione facing separate federal and state murder charges for the killing. The federal charges include a charge of murder through use of a firearm, which carries the possibility of the death penalty. Pink slips started going out this morning to workers at the Department of Health and Human Services. Thousands of workers recently took early retirement or buyouts. Now the Department of Health and Human Services cutting more jobs, including here in Atlanta at the headquarters of the CDC. The notice is saying in part, "I regret to inform you that you are being affected by a reduction in force action." It went on to say that you will be placed on administrative leave and will no longer have building access unless directed otherwise by your leadership. It's estimated that about 2,400 jobs will be lost here in Atlanta. HHS saying that these cuts will save taxpayers about $1.8 billion a year. Check the freezer. A Publix grocery store in Brazelton is recalling some batches of ground beef because they may be contaminated with foreign material. The ground beef was sold at the Publix in the Vineyard Shopping Center on Georgia Highway 211. You're being urged to throw it away, or you can return it to the store for a refund. We have more information on this recall. Take a look, WSBradio.com. Georgia Tech setting a new all-time record for applications for the upcoming fall enrollment. The school received nearly 67,000 applications. They've admitted slightly over 8,500 students, and additional 7,600 are currently on a wait list. Golfing fans are focused on Augusta over the next couple of weeks. Players are practicing for the Augusta National Women's Amateur, which runs Wednesday through Saturday. The Masters will take place at Augusta National next week, and the Georgia Department of Transportation telling us they're going to suspend lane closures through April 14th since the traffic is going to be much heavier than normal. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center with a look at the roads.
And with that suspension, they're going to squeeze in everything they can right now. We are seeing construction in northern Gwinnett County, 85 northbound, Hamilton Mill Road, exit 120. That is in the right lane, causing you some delays as you leave Buford Drive, the Mall of Georgia exit. If you're traveling 285 southbound, the outer loop on the west side, maybe heading toward the airport, Camp Creek Parkway region. Construction 285 southbound below Highway 166, Langford Parkway. That's in the right lane. At times, they hold all lanes to maneuver some construction equipment in and out, so you will see some delays coming down from Cascade Road. And if you're traveling 75 north up toward Marietta and Kennesaw, just on and off the brakes from Delk Road, not too bad as you head up to Chastain Road, exit 271. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, high 76, lows tonight in the upper 50s to low 60s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with an isolated rain shower possible, high 83. Mostly cloudy on Thursday and very warm with a high of 88.
It is mostly sunny in Lilburn and 60 degrees. Woodstock, you have 59 degrees right now, and it's 58 in Kennesaw. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
In Atlanta, there is always something happening.
Tanker truck crashed into the median.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
No traffic getting through in either direction.
Helping you on your commute.
Avoid the area at all costs. Take Highway 155 or Highway 4223.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Coming up next, Deborah's got some tickets to give away to Blackberry Smoke. Pink slips going out today at HHS and CDC. Very latest with the live update next on the Mark Arum Show.
This is Scott Slade. Let's talk about how to improve your chances of living a longer, healthier life. For me, it's preventive medicine. My doctor saw one funky number in my lab work that eventually led to a diagnosis early enough so I still had options. You just got to have a medical professional looking at you every so often, especially when we're talking about heart disease, the nation's #1 killer. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. They've got the best CT imaging in the Southeast with 98% accuracy and low radiation, like flying in an airplane. They can detect calcium levels in your arteries and most cancers at the earliest stage. And virtual imaging can scan your brain to see if you're in danger of a tumor, stroke, or even dementia. So don't put this off, especially with this offer for virtual imaging. For a limited time, they're offering you and your spouse a free heart scan. Yes, free with a few minimum requirements. I've done it. Call 404-678-SCAN. That's 404-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Atlanta DIY landlords, listen up. If you're exhausted from managing your rental properties all by yourself, my friends at Renters Warehouse Atlanta offering a 90-day test drive. Hire Renters Warehouse to manage your rental property for a low flat monthly fee as low as $115. If you're not satisfied at any time in the first 3 months, you can fire them. Get your management fees back. What do you get for that low flat monthly fee? A dedicated property management team, maintenance coordination, move in and move out property condition reports, advanced tenant screening with a 9-month tenant warranty, professional photography and videography, lease renewal processing and negotiations, online rent collection, monthly owner cash flow statements, and more. Renters Warehouse, so confident you'll love their service, they want an addition for your business. Choice is yours. Keep DIYing or see how Renters Warehouse can make your life easier. Start your 90-day test drive today. Go to rwatlanta.com or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
From mission-critical moments to business as usual, rely on Critical Link from Southern Link, the network that supports L3 Harris LMR and LTE radios and Samsung Galaxy Series smartphones. Critical Link, reliability in action. Call 866-450-LINC for more information on Southern Link products and deals. Or visit Highfly Technologies in Atlanta or NextLink in Duluth. Go to southernlink.com to find a dealer near you.
He packed in the animals 2 by 2.
Ox, a camel, and a kangaroo. 11:37. I'm singing. It's Tuesday. It's beautiful. It's Atlanta. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Not such good news, perhaps, for our friends at the CDC who might be getting pink slips today. We'll check in on that in just a second. But first, Deborah, we have some tickets to give away today, my friend.
Yeah, a pair of tickets to see Blackberry Smoke with Mike Campbell and the Dirty Knobs and Shannon McMalley at Synovus Bank Amphitheater at Chastain Park on August 9th.
All right, Vinny was... He drew Longoria's ire, so we're going to make him work for this. 33rd caller to 404-872-0750. 404-872-0750. Vinny, 33rd caller, gets a pair of tickets to Blackberry Smoke, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show and 95.5 WSB. All right, now back to the suspected layoffs at the HHS and the CDC. Joining us live from Bloomberg News covering the story, it's Naya Ping City. Naya, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Morning, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Obviously, a big local story here with the Centers for Disease Control. HHS, though, a greater workforce. Do we know if those pink slips have been going out today, and do you know how many folks are going to lose their jobs?
Absolutely, yeah. So many of those pink slips and folks getting laid off happened as early as 5 a.m. this morning. We knew that the Trump administration was going to begin its reduction in force, what it's calling it, layoffs soon. I heard that some employees showed up to work this morning where they tried to badge in, but they couldn't because they found out they were part of the layoffs. But a lot of these cuts, again, are happening across health agencies, and besides CDC, also including FDA, NIH, and the CMS, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services.
Are these just, quote, probationary employees, Naya, or have those folks already been let go and these are additional cuts?
Yeah, no. So the probationary employees, yes, they were cut in February, but then a federal judge ruled just a couple weeks ago that those firings were unlawful and that agencies had to reinstate them. But these employees, it's a large-scale cut. It hit those who weren't probationary, some who've been working at the agency for years. Many employees that were cut included those working in communications, press offices, administrative staff, program management, analysts, those who oversee compliance to make sure that the industry they regulate is following the law.
I hope you don't mind if we just focus on the CDC for a second, because it's a big Atlanta operation here. Any concerns that it's not just going to be superfluous staff that's cut, that there's going to be research cut, that there'll be funding cut? Like, what's the long-term prognosis for the CDC after this continuous doging of the department?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of folks are just worried about the expertise that is leaving the agency. The CDC, obviously, they oversee. It's a good example of a public health agency because they make sure that our vaccines are right for the upcoming flu season. They monitor outbreaks and diseases, and I think folks are worried if the staff isn't there to do that and to analyze and to be the analysts that they were hired to be for these very technical health issues and technical health policies. There's worries that these sweeping cuts will affect the public health at the end of the day.
Yeah, what I mentioned this when we were talking about it earlier in the show, the rubbing salt in the wounds that these folks are getting these emails or badging in on April Fool's Day. That just seems to add fuel to the fire. Like that's just a cruel way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I've had folks message me that it's crazy that these notices went out on April 1st. The other thing is, I think the administration was supposed to send these notices late last week when they had announced March 27th that these cuts were going to happen because they're planning to eliminate 10,000 employees, they say. Many employees were expecting them to happen Friday evening over the weekend, but looks like they moved quickly Tuesday morning.
Is this it? Is it one and done, Naya, or are we going to see continued cuts at HHS and CDC?
We could see continued cuts, not really sure. I know that in addition to these efforts to shrink the federal workforce, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is also reorganizing and restructuring the health agencies. He's cutting some divisions, moving some offices. So we could even see employees, leave from those movements as well. But it's up in the air about what will happen next because I know that a lot of folks are dealing with the layoffs today.
Final question, is there going to be court challenges to this as well, or is that it? Whatever court challenges were active, that's all we're going to see?
We could see court challenges. As you mentioned, we've seen some before. We saw some with the probationary layoffs back in February, and there's still some ongoing right now dealing with federal workforce and unions and supporting HHS, but that'll be something that we could expect to see.
All right. Naya Pink City, Bloomberg News. Naya, thanks so much for jumping on and covering the story for us.
Great. Thanks for having me.
There you go. And let me just say, again, I understand if you just got fired from the CDC, you're probably not in a talkative mood, right? You just lost your job. Again, I'm waiting to hear from two friends that work at the CDC. They expected they were going to lose their jobs today. I haven't reached out to them yet. But if you do want to contact us, just go to markaram.com and just contact, what's it, Deborah, just contact us, right? And that sends an email to you. Is that the?
Yeah. markaram.com. It'll say contact. You can just fill out the form there and it comes directly to us.
Yeah. So I would love to talk to some folks that lost their job today at the CDC, but I know the news department as well. And I know it's probably not a great time. Your emotions are raw, but if you want to, whether anonymously or not, reach out and talk about your situation at the CDC, just go to markaram.com. Deborah will send an email. She'll forward it to me in the newsroom because I know Sabrina Cupid, our health reporter, is going to be all over the story. Just really sad news. Really sad news. So markaram.com for all that. Hey, congrats to Chris and Marietta. He won a pair of tickets to see Blackberry Smoke, courtesy of the Mark Aram Show and 95.5 WSB. We've been talking a lot about Greenland. Now Iceland is in the news. The other land. You have Greenland, you have Iceland.
The other
new volcanic activity in Iceland. CBS News foreign correspondent Elaine Cobb has more.
A fishing village in southwestern Iceland was evacuated today as lava began spewing from a volcanic eruption. It's the 8th eruption to hit the region since late 2023. The most recent was last November. Iceland has 33 volcanic systems, the highest number in Europe. They had lain dormant for 8 centuries until this period of heightened seismic activity began in early 2021. Elaine Cobb, CBS News.
I don't think we talk enough about the impact that volcanoes can have. We've lived in a relatively calm volcanic era. There have been times where here on Earth, there have been like 10,000-year stretches of massive volcano eruptions that you talk about climate change, like totally change everything on the planet. I think we should count our blessings that we haven't had to deal with all the volcano activity that our ancestors, or even pre-human history. I mean, 10,000 straight years of just crazy volcanic activity. But we'll certainly keep an eye on Iceland. From Iceland to Alabama. CBS's Steve Kathan has more on a ruling affecting a state where abortion is completely banned.
A federal judge says Alabama's attorney general cannot prosecute people and groups who help Alabama women travel to other states to get abortions. The judge sided with an abortion fund and medical providers who sued State Attorney General Steve Marshall. Marshall has suggested that conspiracy laws could be used to prosecute people who help Alabama women go out of state for abortions. There have been no prosecutions up to now. Alabama bans abortion at any stage of pregnancy with no exceptions for rape and incest. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
Interesting. I didn't know that Alabama had a complete abortion ban with no exceptions whatsoever. One archaeological story to make me happy, Deborah. What can you tell me about this one?
Maybe there's nothing under the Great Pyramids, but archaeologists uncovered proof of an ancient biblical battle. Artifacts were discovered during a recent excavation of the ancient city of Megiddo in northern Israel. Tel Megiddo was a location where Josiah, the king of Judah, famously fought the Battle of Megiddo in 609 BC. The Jewish leader was defeated and killed by the army of the Egyptian pharaoh Necho. Megiddo is said to be the location where the prophesied battle of Armageddon will be fought between the kings of earth and God. The findings are consistent with significant quantities of Egyptian vessels dating all the way back to the 7th century BC, close to where the Battle of Megiddo was fought.
Interesting. We never learned about the Battle of Megiddo in Hebrew school. Is that how it's pronounced? Megiddo? Nagida?
Megiddo?
Nakatomi Plaza? I know we never learned about Jews losing battles in Hebrew school. They kind of just glossed over that. They only taught us about the winning battles. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Deborah. Deborah's on like a streak of 7 straight archaeological stories. I love it. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. All right. Is it a biblical battle on the freeways? Let's go back live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center and Alex Williams.
Still watching the slowest spot of the metro area in northern Gwinnett County with that right lane construction. A lot of trucks out on the road up here. 85 northbound, getting up to Hamilton Mill Road exit 120. That is a right lane construction zone. If you're traveling 85 southbound out of Duluth into Norcross, seeing a little bit of volume from Highway 316 to Jimmy Carter Boulevard. Also, you got the construction in DeKalb. Right lane blocked I-20 eastbound before Wesley Chapel, and the left lane of the collector distributor ramp blocked in the same area. That's why you're seeing that slow traffic trying to transition from 285 north to I-20 east in DeKalb. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When the weather is at its worst,
we have a tornado warning for Coweta County. This is going to include the city of Noonan.
We're at our best.
Georgia Power says it has about 15,000 outages at this hour. Georgia EMC is reporting another 18,000.
Download the WSB radio app to stay up to date.
Stoplights are blowing in the wind so heavy they're almost horizontal to the pavement.
95.5 WSB, your severe weather station.
Is your old AC unit ready for another sweltering Atlanta summer? Probably not. Hey, good news. Mark Aaron back from my friends at Reliable. Great new deal going on right now, guys. Any size AC, just $69.99 a month, 0 down, low monthly payments, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Any AC, just $69.99 a month. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the schedule service button or call or text 770-594-9969.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hard-working folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't work when you're supposed to be retired. And if any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today at 404-390-4000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
Don't miss your chance to take advantage of the buy two, get two free and pay nothing until 2027. Offer ending soon, only from Window Nation. Schedule your free estimate now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Attention antique lovers, this weekend it's the Lakewood 400 Antique Market, located north of Atlanta on Georgia Highway 9, 2 miles south of Cumming. Visit their website at lakewoodantiques.com for more information. This weekend, don't miss the Lakewood 400 Antique Market.
Hey, if you've been thinking about selling your home, now is the time. With a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, now you can sell your home fast and for more than you expect. Hey, Sean Hannity here. One of the most stressful things about selling your home is not being able to control the timing. Now, Mark Spain Real Estate, they allow you to receive an all-cash offer and close in as little as 21 days. Just go to markspain.com to find out what your guaranteed offer will be. That's markspain.com, and you can start packing.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Do you have a special needs child or an older adult in your home? The risk of them leaving the house unnoticed is real and terrifying, but you can protect your loved ones with Vivint Home Security. Right now, Vivint is offering a free doorbell camera with any new plan, plus free installation and low monthly monitoring plans. Call 800-953-6693. That's 800-953-6693. Monthly service agreement required for free installation.
I do not recognize this theme song. You might, though. That's the original theme song to General Hospital. Began its historic run on ABC 62 years ago today. Was never a General Hospital fan. My mom watched Guiding Light. So when I was like 6 or 7, I kind of knew what was going on with that. Are soap operas still a thing, Deborah?
Yeah,
they are, right?
Yeah, they're still on. They just debuted a new one, like based out of Atlanta, didn't they?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm Soap Opera Digest. I know Vinny subscribes to that magazine, but I really don't know anything about it. Anyway, it was 62 years ago today. General Hospital began its run on ABC. So happy birthday to all the hospital fans there. Interesting news update here. Sales figures starting to come in for Tesla in Europe, and they're not good. I thought Tesla might be popular in Europe. Wendy Gillette says no.
Tesla sales are down for a third straight month in France and Sweden compared to a year ago. Sales dropped 36% in France in March and 63% in Sweden. The month contributes to the lowest first quarter sales in the countries for the electric car brand since 2021. Analysts say CEO Elon Musk's support of far-right parties in Europe may have hurt sales. Tesla dealerships in the U.S. and Europe have been targeted with demonstrations and vandalism in recent months. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Tesla stock doing okay today. They're up to 16 points, 6.28%. Tesla now trading at $275 a share. The Dow is down a little bit. NASDAQ's up a little bit. We'll monitor the markets throughout the day. Full disclosure, I have never owned brass knuckles. I never really wanted to own them. I wanted the Ninja Stars as a kid. Longo, do you ever own brass knuckles?
No, but I did have Ninja Stars.
Yeah, spoiled child. Tell me about these brass knuckles, Deborah.
You can't carry brass knuckles. A man in Michigan is being charged for carrying the weapon. Now, he claims, I use them for self-defense, but a judge is upholding a law that goes all the way back to 1931, and he might have to face up to 5 years in prison for them. Brass knuckles are illegal in 21 states, and 17 regulate the possession.
I remember show and tell. I remember a show and tell in elementary school, and Mike Holman brought in a pair of brass knuckles, and it was like, oh wow. The teacher was even like, "Where'd you get those brass knuckles, Mike?" Like it was not a big deal. They'd shut a school down now. If you brought in brass knuckles. Maybe you know what? I'm an adult now. I never had Ninja Stars as a kid. I'm gonna go buy some. Are those illegal, Deborah? Can I not buy those?
Oh no, you can order those on Amazon.
All right, I'm getting the Ninja Stars, not the brass knuckles.
Longoria's Fact of the Day.
All right, Rory stole my fact from earlier about April Fools, but here's another April Fool's fact. Apparently there's rules to April Fools. Did you know that? They've been in place since the 1700s, and you should only do April Fool's jokes until 12 p.m., so we got about 3.5 minutes left, and not sure why, but a lot of people say it's bad luck.
All right, so you have 3 minutes to
get your joke.
I'm not a fan of April Fool's Day. I'm glad it's dying out. The younger generation doesn't even know what it is. So, all right, there you go. There's your fact of the day. Let's bang out some stars of the show.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Arum Star of the Show?
Longoria, you get star of the show. April Fools.
I thought you weren't an April Fool's person.
I'm not, but I like to tease you. I am going to give one to Rory O'Neill, who stole your fact of the day. Dang it. That's the first time in a long time. Longo had to call an audible on fact of the day. Rory O'Neill gets a star of the show. ABC's Stephen Portnoy on the economic poll numbers. He gets a star of the show. Great stuff from Jim Ryan, by the way. He gets a star of the show. The return of Butch and Sonny, the wayward astronauts, 286 days in space. You know what? I'm going to give Butch, I'm in a generous mood. Butch gets a star of the show. Sonny went to the hairstylist. She looks fantastic. She gets a star of the show. Tori and Small from CBS News joined us live in Florida. Reminder, the special elections going on right now in Florida for those two vacated congressional seats. I'm sure Eric's going to talk about that in just a little bit. Naya Ping City from Bloomberg News joined us with the CDC layoff. She gets a star of the show. Vinny Bag of Donuts. You dug yourself out of a deep hole, man, but you came through. You get a star of the show. And I do as well. I provided breakfast sandwiches for the crew, for those who imbibe. I think that's it. Yeah. All right. Social media is active all the time. At Mark Arum, MarkArum. Eric Erickson is up next. Stay safe. Have a great Tuesday, Atlanta.
To a simpler place.